Well, hello there. We are back, everybody. Welcome to Summer Scouting. Also, welcome to Draft Bros. My name is Alex, owner of Hail Mary Sports, and this is Broshmo.
Shalom.
Today's going to be a really fun stream. If you guys haven't already seen the title, we're going to be talking about defensive backs, so the safeties and slot corners pretty much. I don't know if you've seen the slots, but primarily the safeties. And then wide receiver.
I've done slots.
Okay, safeties and slots. So safeties, slots.
Unless it was a guy that played a lot of corner, then that might project a slot. I haven't got to that guy yet.
Yes. Oh, okay. We already got some people in here. What is going on, everybody? Got Red Sea, Devin Witherspoon, and Suggs, the OGs, the stream homies, the Stromies. I don't know what to call you guys.
The Stromies?
The Stromies. But yeah, today's going to be fun. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't know what the hell you're up to, but for me, I'm chilling.
Oh, me right now?
Yeah. I'm actually changing this more yellow. So I look tanner. My lights are giving me some bad looks, bro.
So I am currently I'm trying to share it.
Oh.
Yo, I haven't combed my beard all day, dude. It's a mess.
I honestly didn't even notice. But yeah, if you guys haven't already seen it,
I notice when I do my hair.
Your lack thereof. I love you, man. It's been a minute. But yeah, if you guys have not already seen it, which you guys should check it out after this episode if you haven't, I just dropped a top 57 receiver video, 2 hours, 11 minutes, 11 seconds. I actually go through and I read a whole game scouting report per player. No shit. That's how I do it now. You guys can look at the graphic. I actually end up just reading a game evaluation. So
sexy.
Yeah, it was insane. 57 of them. Technically 58 if you count in Juice Wells. I left him as a TBD because he got hurt so early last year.
I'm doubling down on Juice Wells.
Dude, the guy's such a baller. I really do like him. I'm going to bring you over here.
Switch.
Oh.
Love you.
All right. So that's the itinerary for today. I don't think we're going to have – we don't need to spend a lot of time doing some weird mock draft. So I would say –
Not yet. No weird mock draft. I think I'm done with those for the cycle.
Yeah, me too.
I have been getting together my top 25 though.
I've been seeing that. We disagree tremendously.
Wait.
Yeah, like exponentially.
How do you see that?
What do you mean?
My top 25
for receivers? I have access to your
no. I know we disagree. We hate each other.
You're saying for the defense.
I meant for the college.
Or for not defense, football. NCAA.
Yeah. Because I've been messing around with Photoshop, trying to get my new overlay for that. And I went ahead. I went through it. I was like, who do I like? So I've gotten that down. Got my top 25. I got who I think is going to make the playoff.
Nice. I guess that's for like the next stream.
Yeah, we could do that. We can do a draft format with 12 teams.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect.
And then we could just run through it. Run the gauntlet.
I'm down, dude. So we have a couple comments in here. Devin says his top 3 receivers are Deion Burks, Tez Johnson, Isaiah Bond. Those are 3 of, I think, my top 10. I know there are 3 of my top 10. Well, no, Tez is not my top 10. But 3 of my top 15.
I will say, because I posted my wide receiver rankings today.
Oh, yeah? You did?
I did. In video format.
Huh?
And someone in the comments shouted out the Arkansas receiver that you had high,
Andrew.
And I was like, I totally forgot to put that guy on my watch list. Like, I was like, I remember seeing your initial rankings because I don't know if they've changed since, but I remember seeing that video, and I was like, oh yeah, I better take note of this Arkansas cat. Never put him on there. Never got
him. Baller. He's my number 11 guy now. He was, I think, number 3 for my initial group, but adding in 44 more guys, it was kind of bound to push him down a little bit. But we got a shout. Have you seen Will Pauling? I don't know if you. I don't think you had him on your list.
No.
Oh, so yeah, he's my number 19 receiver. Really do like him, but Wisconsin guy. But
okay, Wisconsin. Okay.
Cool. Daniel Berry Sports.
Offense. He's gonna have Tyler Van Dyke thrown to him. I mean,
dude, that's his new Xavier Restrepo. I think he actually might be. He's gonna ascend. Tanner Mordecai was ass. So
Mordecai was indeed not great. I think he was drafted in the XFL draft. I meant to do. I was thinking. I think I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. But I was initially gonna. I was like, you know what? I should do an XFL like draft grade video, and I never did it.
I've thought about doing. I did that once, like when the USFL first started. I did it, and then ever since then, it's just like, man, I just don't know enough about all of the names.
You would think a lot of these guys, it's like if they don't make the team or practice squad, because it was like Jason Bean. You had like Leonard Taylor up in there. Like
what?
There was a lot of well-known guys.
Oh, now you got me excited.
Yeah. I'm a little sad that I didn't do it. I couldn't find time in the week to do it. It was like a couple of weeks ago when it happened. Because like no one knew it happened.
Yeah.
Like I randomly got a note.
Yeah, there's no publicity.
Hey, like XFL draft. I was like, what
the hell? Yeah, I'd never heard anything about it. That's kind of crazy. All right, that sucks. Well, it's still cool, but you know. Damn. Okay. I gotta look at that then. That's sick.
So do you want to start with safety or let's start with safety?
Yeah, I agree.
Let's save dessert for dessert.
Thank you. All right, I'm pulling it up over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta still pull it
up. I should have done this like beforehand, but you know.
Dude, I sat down all of like 10 minutes ago. So
yeah, I feel that, man. I feel it. All right. Question for you. How many guys did you get to?
In the safety group?
Yeah.
If we're gonna include guys I have listed as slot, though,
yes.
Some of them, like for me, like Malachi Moore is a guy that if anything he'll play, I think corner and not box. If he.
Ooh, really? Okay.
I think so. I think potentially.
I mean, his frame says but.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. His frame says but altogether 26.
Okay. See, for my deep dive that I will be doing, which is not going to come for quite a while, it's going to be 29. So I'm curious what you have that I don't. I'll be looking at that, but I have 16. Oh, yeah, no, it is 29. I have 16 for my initial.
Okay.
So we'll discuss it. You'll have your soapbox moment. We kind of you do your deep dives right away. I did my top so I could at least know every position. To like, I can go to round 4 or 5 degree.
I do my deep dives so like early, so that now that it's like okay, it's like football's a month away,
right?
And I only have like 7 teams left to cover, so I could like reel back a little bit,
right? Like my goal was to do that by end of summer. Just this receiving class, I should have done like 3 of the deep dives within the one receiver one. I just couldn't stop.
I just wanted to keep watching with receivers.
That's the thing. Like I'm talking. So, dude, you know that I have a full-time job. Like usually when people are just chatting and like, during your downtime at work, you're hanging out with your team, like going on your phone. I literally am doing tape evaluations. Like I got permission from my boss to do that. Like, how fucking sick is that? Shout out to my boss.
Hold on.
Yeah. No, I literally told him, I'm like, dude, I don't want you to think that I'm not putting my job as a priority. Like when I have downtime, this is just what I want to do. Keeps me fresh, keep me going. And he's like, all right, bet. I'm like, okay. Like I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed to have him. So shout out to my boss right there for being an absolute G.
So do you want to start at the top?
We are going to disagree on the top, I think. I haven't seen your safety rankings.
Because I don't know. Because like the way you always talk about prospects, it's like, oh wow, man, he must think this guy's like midday 3. Oh, third round? Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of me. Honestly, I haven't graded these guys in terms of round yet. I like doing.
I just throw that out there, like just initial feels, and then we'll see how the year goes.
Right. I mean, I have a generalized idea. Like the starters, I think will go in round 1. Like that's where I feel comfortable. Round 1 guys.
I will say I have no blue chip from this.
I do not either. But I don't know if I've ever had a blue chip safety besides Kyle Hamilton, who is fringe generational.
Yeah,
I don't know. Oh, actually, no. The Texans guy, Jalen Pitre. He was my highest graded safety.
Pitre, okay. The Baylor, yeah.
Yeah, he's still my highest graded safety of all time.
Don't think I had him that high, but I mean,
I just loved him. I mean, to be fair, I don't know what my grading system was like back then. I don't think I've actually changed anything in my grading system, though.
I'm pretty sure I had him in that back end, like back end of the first, early second.
Yeah. That's where I ended up putting him on my board, but I wasn't like fully abiding by my board.
People also cared about safety a bit more then, so.
Yeah. My number 1 safety and yours is going to be different. So do you want to go off with the – I'll let you start because you're going to have more names, but I also want to hear – because I feel like you have a common number 1.
Yes.
It's Starks.
It's how the kids would say basic. So I went with Malachi Starks. For me, I think he's a top 20 guy. I fringe to say top 10, though probably will end up in my top 10 just because I don't have a lot of top 10 guys in this class.
Right.
But the dude is, well, for one, 6'1", 205, built well, and I thought he was a good athlete. Like coming downhill, I thought he was hella good. Like, he was explosive. He's got that ball hawkiness to him. There's an adjective. Goes for the football, 7 pass breakups, 3 interceptions. But when he comes downhill, like he kind of felt like a linebacker. He wasn't afraid to like give like a big hit. There's so much more confidence with him working towards the football than there is away.
Yeah.
Like my biggest criticisms for him are like kind of a risk taker. So kind of like I see ball, I get ball. To be fair, that was something I loved. Like ever since like Andre Cisco, that was like my dude. He was like, okay, sure, he blows coverages all the time, but those interceptions. But I mean that I'm not saying it's that bad with him, but it is a thing where he'll get got by a double move or something of that ilk and just not be able to recover all the way. Because I think he's got the explosiveness. I think he is a really good athlete. Yeah. Also, I noticed once he does get got, he gets this deer in the headlights look. Where I saw this in the Alabama game, where he already got kind of toasted on the on a like an in breaking move or something
from Isaiah Bond. Yep, I boosted Isaiah Bond on that rep. I know that because I boosted Bond on that rep.
He literally meets Bond again and just straight freezes like, oh no, I'm not getting toasted again. And I was like, now he's second guessing himself and whatnot. Yeah.
So I love that we watched the same game and like that rep both stood out to him.
I saw that and I was like, I know he's not slow. What the?
But hey, dude, that's why I knocked him a little bit in man. Yeah, like I knocked him a little bit in man and boosted Isaiah Bond. I was like, damn, I didn't know Isaiah Bond got that in him. Like,
yeah. So I'm just gonna play with like, okay, he just needs maybe more reps. Needs to see the field better. Let's see how it plays out this season. But like, I think from an athletic standpoint, ball skill standpoint, he probably should be a first round safety.
Okay. So he's my safety 12 out of 12.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. No, he's my safety 2, man. He's a quarter of a point off of being safety 1. No, I really love Malachi.
I think that's fair because I think there's, I think a bunch of the at least the top safeties. Yeah. A lot of them are kind of projections, pure projections.
I agree completely. So Malachi, my notes, like basically I ended up speaking to my draft notes, but just my overall opinion of him. His athleticism was a little bit more capped than, in my opinion, than what like you were like necessarily seeing. But that's because of the fact I saw him not being able to make up ground on those double moves. And it might have been because I watched a couple other very, very athletic safeties around him. So
I think it's just because he stops.
It might be like that case.
He can't.
He's a really good mover though. Like he's fluid. Yeah. That's what I'll say. He's very fluid. He's scored very high and change of direction. ball hawk, not super physical. He's not going to be an enforcer, but he's not weak. Like, I think
he's a sure tackler.
Yeah, he's not going to be someone who is the highlight reel big boomer.
Yeah,
but,
that was kind of like Kyle Hamilton.
Right.
He loved that, but he also hovered around like a 15 missed tackle mark. So
like he had the high missed tackle mark, and he was also a YOLO type of guy. Remember that Stanford game where he just took out that guy? Was that the game he got injured? I'm not sure. I forgot.
I can't recall.
I just remember there was like one play where he just like ran straight across the field and just destroyed a receiver.
Oh, dude, it's wild. When I do these deep dives and like I look at these drafts pass, I'm like, I don't remember this. I don't remember this guy. Hold up.
Like, oh, damn.
That was so long ago.
Yeah, but Malachi Starks, I love his zone instincts. That's something I really do love. Like, I feel like he processes the play more than a lot of other safeties do. I thought he was actually near cerebral in terms of his actual understanding of certain route concepts until he's in man coverage and gets got. But even then,
to be fair, Isaiah Bond's kind of a good guy to get got on.
Because that guy's a freak in terms of athleticism too.
Talk about him later.
I got so many guys that you didn't list that I'm just so excited to tell you about, because I feel like when you take a peek at them, you're gonna love them.
I got sad. I wanted to keep going, but I was like, I really need to start on corners.
I know that was my thing, but I just said, nah. I'm like, screw it. Let's go. Let's have fun. But my number one safety is Nick Amon Wari, the South Carolina cat. Did you grade him?
Ooh, I did. Okay, so total projection, but I think he could be a stud.
So
he's built different.
6'3", 230, damn near.
He could go to linebacker and be linebacker one.
Dude, he is so freaking fast. That top end speed. I was like, dude, these guys who run 4.3s, nothing against him.
Dude, straight.
He might be 4.2.
You want me here? So this was listed during the spring workouts. His little score sheet or whatever.
Yeah.
So he benched 225 24 times. He had a 42-inch vertical and 136-inch broad jump. All those would have been first in the 2024 class, aside from the broad jump, which Tyler Owens had a record set in broad jump. So freaky.
Dude, scored a 19 out of 20 on athleticism. That's why he's up there. That's why he's my number one guy. Like, ridiculous athlete. Relatively smooth, relatively reliable in run support. I thought he processed the field pretty well as a deep coverage guy as well in terms of in zone coverage. I think he's a little bit too stiff. I saw that Brock Bowers got the best of him one-on-one. Of course, who didn't?
Brock Bowers.
So, overall, I mean, he's a freak athlete that has a really, really solid foundation. And I think with more experience and with good coaching, he could be a blue chip player.
Yeah, I got him at 8 just because I want to see more.
Oh, 100%.
And man, you're right. This guy's got a nose for the football. Like, doesn't matter if it's like run game, pass game. He's just around.
Yeah. He has perfect range for it. Yeah. He's just so freaking athletic.
I think he moves, at least change the direction wise, moves more closer to a linebacker than an actual safety.
Sure.
But again, also built like a linebacker. So
yeah,
I'm not mad at it.
He was in that tier 2/3 in terms of like, I had the elite fluid guys and I had the pretty fluid guys, and he was in the pretty fluid guys. So I agree. Definitely saw that from him. Who's your number 2 then? Including slots.
I got to keep that in mind. Kevin Winston Jr.
Ooh, okay. I like Kevin. I like him.
But I'm excited. Feel like here's my little blurb, because I decided I'm going to do that. Make a little blurb, and that way I could come back to it at the end of the year and see if it was a good take or not.
Okay.
But I basically said more explosive Jaquan Brisker.
Okay.
Because
I like Jaquan a lot.
I like Jaquan too. I just felt like he was limited as an athlete, and that's what kept him out of the first round for me.
Okay. I can see that.
Jaquan was like, at least in terms of going back, like Jaquan was really good with everything in front of him. Like, his just understanding of like route tendencies and concepts and when to jump, like was phenomenal. But
I'm trying
like
to see those 2023
range wise, I was like, no, I don't know about this cat.
Yeah, that was 23, right?
That
22. That was 22. It was 22. I'm like looking up to see what my grade was on him because I'm trying to see how far off he was. Jaquan graded out as a 75.25. Do I have the same exact? No, I ended up having a little bit different grading scale, but
so that was 22. I'm kind of curious now.
Yeah, because my safety rankings were Hamilton, Petrie. Ooh, interesting. Okay, I did not have Hamilton as generational at the end of it. That's probably because post combine. Lewis Seen, RIP. Yeah, Lewis Seen, Jaquan Brisker, Daxton Hill.
Who's that? Who's that?
Lewis Seen. I know that's kind of crazy.
Oh, I know. Oh gosh, that's the worst take of the bunch, huh?
Well, I mean, the poor guy broke his leg a couple freaking plays into his first season, so
yeah,
like that's kind of a shitty way to start. But
it is. I do like Nick Cross now potentially is the starter there for the Colts.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if he hasn't proven the ability to
start.
That's
because he was stuck as a special teamer, and then he didn't get a starter nod till the last couple of games where he actually unseated Thomas, I think was the other guy there.
Rodney?
Yeah, Rodney.
Yeah.
Which to be fair, Rodney really outperformed his projection a ton.
Dude, where was he taken?
7th round.
Yeah. I was like, damn. Nick Cross taking the 3rd round, Rodney 7th. They're like, all right, you better. So I had Kevin as my safety 9. And
oh wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, I like him a lot, but I thought his change of direction, especially in the run, his pursuit angles, dude. There were a lot of times during the run where he'd just take the wrong angle and just not be able to adjust. And that was the thing that just bothered me the most. But I really did like his game. Like Michigan in the first play, I don't know if you saw that. He just decked a receiver over the middle. Like, I just loved it.
Oh, dude, I think it's raining hard here.
I can't hear it.
Oh, I think it's raining hard here. I'm going to go check on my family real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, no, just because it's like, sounds like it's really coming down. So, dude, we just had a storm here like a couple of weeks ago. 80-mile-per-hour winds out of nowhere.
Nuts. These what was like a couple, you said a couple months ago?
Couple of weeks ago.
It
was on a Sunday.
Interesting, because we had a storm here in Dallas where the wind got up to like 90. The gust got up to 90 here, and I was like working in the office, and you could feel you hear the windows like rumbling. I was like, oh my god, it's nuts. Did I just freeze? You gotta be kidding me. Did I Hugh freeze? Am I the one who's frozen, everybody? You guys can look. He had a 42-inch what? I don't know if Broshmo's gone. Am I gone or am Broshmo's gone? I feel like I'm gone. Am I the one who's gone? We got one guy down. It's one of us. We'll see which one. He froze because of weather. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Brandon. You guys can now see the delay as well. So, all right. R.I.P. Broshmo. We'll be getting him back. Yeah, he's going to be popping back. I am now real Broshmo. Can I just drag myself? Come on, dude. Seriously? What's up with this? Actually, oh! Yeah, okay. No, this is not working. Hold on. Where's the Draft Bros thing? No. You guys get to see behind the scenes. Oh, my God. There we go. You guys get to see behind the scenes. Me just fucking around. Thank you, Husky. Husky Dad. Yeah. Love that. You and Broshmo alike. But regardless, not gonna lie, Baby Gronk would cook. Oh my god. Okay, so for those of y'all who are still here, Broshmo's gonna be back. He's literally, it's probably the Wi-Fi that's gonna be popping back up, so he'll be all right. I just dropped a video, top 57 receivers. I shit you not, and yes, I spent time breaking down every single one. All of them had all 22 tape. I do not do any grades without all 22 anymore. Even for offensive line and defensive line, I just do not give a shit. Like, hate to say it, unless it's like a player that I really need to study, and then it's like you can find something. But did I see Kalen Bullock's play in the Hall of Fame game? Dude, honestly, I was at BJ's. Get your head out of the gutter. And I did not. I mean, they didn't have the announcer on, so I had no idea who was making what play at that time because I was just kind of enjoying my flatbread pizza. Pretty gas, by the way. You have to ask for extra sauce, though. And then, just peeking up from time to time, just watching the plays and, enjoying that football's live again. So Brandon Halam, definitely let me know what happened. I love Keelan Bullock. He was my safety 1, but y'all had to see number 80. Yeah, Colin Johnson. That was one of the plays I did see. Colin Johnson ended up dropping a pretty easy to catch ball. Well, not easy, but it was a beautiful ball by Brett Ripien. And it was probably 20 yards downfield, placed into the a very, very tight window. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, Colin. Goes back and has 2 unbelievable plays. Scores the touchdown first off, and then has an unbelievable catch. I was like, that's how you redeem yourself, man. Good for you. Everybody makes mistakes. He had the most tackles in a forced fumble. Oh, it's great. That's great. I mean, I feel like I'm getting more confident understanding what I don't know about certain positions. So I weight that less. There we go. There we go. He's back. All right. Dude, switch us. Let's go.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, famous last words, right? Yeah. Look at this. Sounds crazy. Dude, the wind is insane.
Yeah. I told everybody you'd be back.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I better hit him up and let him know the power went out.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I was trying to entertain the people because I just think that you were going to be back. Oh, power went out.
The tree went down up front? My tree, I'll be back.
Your tree went? The hell?
I'll be back.
Oh my God. All right. Well, while Brochmo is getting killed by falling trees, knock on wood that doesn't happen. I don't even remember what I was saying. We're talking about Keelan Bullock. We're talking about my receiver video. But, I mean, guys, it's 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds. I read a whole entire freaking game of analysis, my personal notes to myself for each one of the players. So keep that in mind. If you guys do want to burn some time, learn all the receivers, there's only 2 guys that I wanted to watch that I couldn't.
Hey, that's nuts.
Kanata Mumfield and who the hell else was it? It was Chris Brazel the second.
I'm alive.
Hallelujah. All right.
Yeah. So
back from the falling tree.
So, yeah, wild, dude.
That's nuts. I mean, to be fair, my parents got hit by a freaking tornado a month ago. So it's we're just dealing with these crazy storms now. It's I'm starting to get a little bit desensitized.
Yeah. So while I pull up everything again.
You're good.
Oh, I wonder if I saved my Photoshop. Oh,
it probably, knowing you probably did.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Doesn't matter. It is what it is. If I didn't, then it's a sign just to keep things the way they were last year.
Oh my God. Did you change it up or something?
Huh?
Did you change it up?
I was just changing up my top 25 to a more slick look, but.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But so we had a storm last year, right? Or last year. A few Sundays ago, right? And it was 8 mile per hour winds, and we have this tree right next to our garage that goes straight up, right?
Okay.
And me and my wife, we've been trying to slowly take stuff out of our garage to clear so we could put the cars back in.
Right.
And let's just say I haven't been doing a good job of that. So I was like, oh man, are the cars are covered? Cool. It doesn't really matter. And I'm looking in this tree that's 20 or 30 feet in the air. It goes straight up next to the garage. I go out there when it's blowing nuts. And I'm just seeing the ground just boom. It's an earthquake. I was like, oh, this is nuts. Didn't go down. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something about that. Hadn't done anything about it yet. And now it is. Now it is down. And luckily it went the other way. It went instead of
hallelujah.
It crossed my front yard.
God,
we've been so lucky. The wind's blowing to the towards the back of our house. So push that tree away from the house. So, that would have sucked if it came down on the house.
Yeah.
Dude.
You're just screaming. You're like, I think it's raining pretty hard. I'm like, no, that's a fucking tree. That just split your house in half.
That would have been nuts. But yeah, that's going to be a project for me. I I guess I'll check it out tomorrow morning.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about it now. It fell in the right direction.
No, now I have to worry about getting it out of my yard.
Yeah. Oh my God, Brochfeld got major and tree yapper per Devin Witherspoon.
Dude, let me tell you, man, this tree. When you got a tree that's threatening your house, which sucks, dude. Last year, it doesn't suck, but like last year, I had the option of getting it cut down.
Show the tree what's up.
But I was like, you know what?
If you know, you know.
Get this stupid cactus out of my yard. So I got the cactus done instead of the tree. To be fair, the cactus was arms falling off, so it was probably more death-defying to my house.
Can you imagine? You're just like making a video and your window or your wall breaks down because a fucking cactus flies through it.
Dude, those things are heavy as hell, man. The arm
They're
came down, just the arm. Yeah. Well, that and their skeleton is freaking insane. Like, it's so heavy. I even, I cut that up to drain the water, and it was still, just the arm by itself, freaking 300 pounds. I was like, damn. Well, I haven't deadlifted in a while. I can't do this.
I haven't deadlifted in a while.
Oh, God.
Tree yapology. My goodness.
Right?
I love that.
Golly, I can't wait to go look at that damage.
Well, luckily
not even damage, but I just hope it didn't make it to my neighbor's yard because it was a tall tree.
Damn.
And he hasn't been putting his car in the driveway, and I'm pretty sure the direction it fell, part of it would be in his driveway. So,
oh no, that dude's car just got blown up. It's an act of God. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
you ain't liable for that.
I guess I'll find out.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, I like Kevin Winston.
all of that just for
I think he's got similar instincts underneath to Brisker.
Okay.
I think his run defense is really good. What I didn't like about him, you kind of touched up on it with his range. I do think he could be a bit stiff.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he plays tall. I think that that 0 missed tackles last year is a bit deceiving because he tackles high. And I think that could come down in the NFL.
Right.
I also put here play strength, but he's a guy that has room to add actual muscle to his frame.
Okay.
Not say he doesn't have muscle now, but it's just something I was like, okay, like his tackling technique, he's a bit more like dive and drag. So
yeah. He's not really like the guy to be an enforcer necessarily.
Yeah.
I think he has the strength, but it's just like I don't think he deploys it the way he should.
Yeah, it might be honestly just a technique thing.
Yeah.
So
I think that's also I really think it's his pursuit angles, dude. I think if he went straight up and actually was on target when he went for it, I feel like he'd use better form to use his strength. That was just the thing for me. I just kept noticing it was the wrong first angle every time, and I'm like. There was a couple, I think it was versus Michigan, might have been versus Ohio State as well, but let a couple big touchdown runs because he just took the wrong angle to a guy in open space. And it's just man.
Tree Yappuccino, dude.
Tree Yappuccino.
And it's delicious. Yappuccino on ice.
Yappuccino on ice, baby. All right.
And you said your number 2 was Stark, correct?
Yeah.
So who's your number 3? Let's switch things up. Let's go with you first.
Sebastian Castro. I am in love with Sebastian Castro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I got him listed with my slot guys.
Yeah, this is a clear top 3. All of them are within half a point of each other. I think Sebastian Castro might be the smartest zone coverage defender I might have graded.
I agree. All my cons with him has nothing to do with how he plays the game.
He is a mediocre ass athlete. And that's a compliment.
See, you knew where I was going.
Yeah, he is very, very, very slow. So what I said is he gets 0 to 10 relatively quickly, but he gets from 10 to 60 really damn slowly. I think the top end speed could be there. It just takes him so damn long to get there that it's just dude, chop chop. You're in the slot. These guys are really explosive. Yeah. And that's why he really thrives as a zone defender. I don't think that any teams that are going to be expecting him to go man-to-man versus an Xavier Worthy are gonna necessarily draft a guy like that. There's other slots in this class that have that mobility that might lean a little bit more better towards that skill set at a cheaper price as well, in my opinion. But cerebral in terms of processing, he's an enforcer as well. He likes to be able to make guys feel his presence there, and he's the highest IQ defender, in my opinion, in the defensive back group from what I studied. Did not seem to be deer in headlights very often, if at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I listed him among the safeties since I wrote. He's among. I got him in my slot category, but again, like for my blurbs, I took like those guys that I had like first 4-round grades on and put him. It was was I gonna put him with the corners or the safeties? Put him with safety 11 for me.
Okay.
And it's the athleticism. He'll be 25 halfway through his rookie year.
I just don't care too much about age, if I'm going to be honest, dude. Most of these guys don't survive past their first contract. And, slot corners, I've seen a couple of them last until they're 33. So I'm like, you could be a 2-contract guy. If you're 1 contract, I'm happy, dude. Like, if you're great for 1 contract, like, slot is just so valuable in the NFL now, like a nickel. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, the athleticism's ass, if I'm just going to be honest. If I shall be blunt.
I mean, I didn't think it was terrible. I thought I put good, not great athlete.
I put mid-ass athlete. And this is my number 3 guy. I love so much more about his overall game.
Mid-athlete.
Yeah, but as I said, 0 to 10, perfectly fine. It's that 10 to 60 to get to that top speed, like 0 to 60 style, that really lacks, in my opinion. And that's where he still is formidable. It's why he's been so damn good. But at the same time, versus the NFL receivers, might be where he struggles. That's why I love him in zone, because he just is the right place at the right time, rather than having.
He's coming from Iowa. They got that zone discipline,
right?
I actually, my number 3 safety is an Iowa player,
Nwampa,
dude. The Wampa.
My guy, he's a beast.
He is nifty. I saw some people say like he is Derwin James. And I'm like, all right, let's reel back on that. But I see where you came to that conclusion.
I can see that.
Because, just size 6'2", 215. Yeah. He's got the versatility. Sure. Like the play strength. Blend of size and speed's real nice. The cons that I had with him was he has that Kyle Hamilton hitter mentality where it's like, hey, I'm big, so I kind of want to rock your world. Yeah. And doesn't lend itself to, the best missed tackle rate. I did put sometimes when he is in like too high, he gets tunnel vision towards like the middle, and he'll kind of miss guys out on the boundary. And it's like, hey, if you're supposed to kind of be like the safety net back there, like probably shouldn't do that. So like, I kind of feel like I kind of lean to more. Yeah, he's probably someone you want to play in the slot, play in the box. Yeah, you could probably get away with him in like a quarter scheme and whatnot, but like absolutely not like a cover 1 single high, not a
he
cover
doesn't have
3.
that level of speed overall. To be
yeah. I mean, at his size, it's still pretty darn good, but again, it's that like coming downhill, more of straight line rather than the actual change of direction. And him being a taller guy, it's kind of like the tall tackle problem where it's like they find it tough to get leverage. I feel like if you're a tall corner or a tall safety and you end up tall in your back pedal, it just kind of like hurts you. So yeah, I felt like there were instances of that. He was definitely more comfortable working forward than backwards.
I loved him in the box. I thought that's where he shined.
Easy.
I did not see a better defender in the box in this class. Like, he felt at home. I really actually did like his fluidity overall. I thought his change of direction was a little bit better than maybe like what you saw, but I also blend athleticism as like functional athleticism, and I didn't really see him have that overall like deep speed ability for that deep coverage, which is why I'm really focusing on him in the box.
Yeah, and for me, it was. I think it wasn't like the lack of athleticism, but like how he saw the field.
Right. Well, I think that he might have developed that because of the fact that maybe he was trying to compensate and try to be more of a big play. When you're around all these other freak athletes like freaking Cooper DeJean, like I'm sure that like there's something that rubs off to where you want to be more of that ball hawk in the middle. So I don't know. That's just a theory of mine, but I thought that he actually processed the field fairly well. I don't want to leave him as a deep safety at all. I'm just keep him in the box, make it simple, keep it simple, stupid. There you go. But yeah, in the box, I mean, this dude is ridiculous. So big fan of his game overall. I did like his fluidity, but I did think that, especially in man coverage, he was really lacking, and he's not really built for that. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think in the role, he's my number 4 safety. So.
Oh, okay. So you went right in. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I'll just talk about it. Screw it.
So my number 4 ends up being Billy Bowman, who I freaking love.
Okay.
This is my guy. Like,
yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna initially love him because he's like built like a bowling ball. Like typically that doesn't really work at safety, but for him it really does. Like,
okay.
Sure, you're gonna have to deal with like the limited I guess length and range, ability to contest the catch point. But like I remember I did a watch along with that Texas Oklahoma game, and just him coming up and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to reach the catch point on Jatavian Sanders over the middle, and it was like inside the 20.
Yeah.
But I can make him never want to go there again. And he just lowers the shoulder and destroys him.
Yeah.
And breaks up the pass. And I was like, oh, disgusted. It also helped that, the ball skills are really good, like legitimate ball hawk, 9 interceptions, 6 pass breakups the last 2 seasons.
Damn.
He had 3 pick sixes last season, apparently. I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome.
It's kind of insane. Great. And he kind of has that Sidney Brown shot out of a cannon. And honestly, that's probably like an early, I hate to say comp, because again, I really don't like doing comps until like I can get metrics and whatnot. But in terms of like how I felt, like I just felt like he had that type of just flies around and just explodes, can cover grass real quick. And at 5'10", that's an impressive feat to cover that much ground.
Right. No, I mean, I'm a sucker for, like, I was a sucker for Sydney when he came out. So I think that might be, he's on my list. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. The tackling is not great.
Honestly, I don't care too much about, because tackling form can be changed so long as you're going in the right direction and you actually can make a tackle if your form is correct. Like, some guys just aren't strong enough to make a tackle.
Man, if you could live with a 25% missed tackle rate over his career.
You know what? If we could live with over like a 30% missed tackle rate with Abdul Carter, I think we could survive.
It's a little different.
It's a little different, but same principle. I'm gonna be a little biased here.
It would have meant more if he stayed at linebacker.
This is true. Okay, so who's your number 5 then?
Dante Trader Jr.
Damn. All right.
He's a great athlete.
Yeah, I remember we were talking while you were watching him for the first time.
Yeah, again, this was a guy you turned me on to, and I was turned on.
Thank you. He was in a way too early mock draft for 2024.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Dude just gets after it. I love it. Like,
he's a playmaker.
Yeah. He's not afraid to put his nose in the action. Doesn't mean that like he's built for it, but
yeah.
If you come with that dog in him, then hey, I'm cool with it.
True.
A lot of times in the red zone, he was the guy that was kind of playing what L'Jarius Sneed does for the Chiefs on like used to do on like third downs. They're like third and shorts or in the red zone where he'd come in and play the slot, but he's more playing like a 9Y or a wide 9 or a 7 around that 7 tech.
Yeah.
And then coming in playing the run or trying to stop if it's like a read option. Like he did a really good job of that against Michigan.
Right.
where he was just playing around the line of scrimmage. I really like that about him. The dude's got a real quick trigger. Again, phenomenal athlete. Also a bit of a ball hawk. Last 2 years, 4 interceptions, 8 pass breakups. Love to see it. There's a blitz side there. They haven't used him a lot as a blitzer, but it's certainly there. It was just like, again, he came in and he halted a lot of read options. Like, again, that Michigan game was like so impressive, where it was like, no, JJ, you ain't running.
Yeah.
Not today. He is thin. Tackling technique is he's a dive and drag guy. It's fine. He's 5'11", 196. It's what you expect at that.
That's not that bad. There's
weight.
Far worse.
Yeah, it's no like Billy Bowman.
Right. Okay, so for me, my safety 5 was Malachi Moore, safety / slot 5.
Okay.
Malachi Moore, I think that his biggest fault is that when he fails extraordinarily horribly. Like, it's just when he slips, there's a touchdown involved. Like,
I was literally about to say,
like, every time. I mean, like, literally, you're talking about when I think Jalen Hyatt was the one to toast this dude every single time in that legendary game. I think that Malik Neighbors got the best of him a couple times as well. Like, when he goes up against these receivers, you'll see the big plays. Versus Michigan, I mean, Roman Wilson ended up just getting a massive crosser because Malachi Moore thought he could big brain it and then go deep because he guessed where the route was going. He messed up. And the problem with that is that he does allow those big mistakes. The good thing when I never expected this, but when I watched him, all the other plays for the most part were honestly really, really, really good. He's a very fluid athlete overall. Like, I think that he is not a liability pretty much anywhere. He's not going to be the strongest guy in the world. He's sub 200, but like, I just thought that.
Oh, like barely sub 200.
Yeah, I mean, he's 198, but I mean, he's just somebody who is really reliable, a functional athlete, and just needs to understand, don't make a bad situation worse. And yeah, it's just the guy who is like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah. So I'm going to list them with my corners.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of where I fell, but I have a 4th round grade on them.
Yeah.
I think part of that is, honestly, the biggest things are, he was completely healthy last year, but he does have a history of nagging back injuries.
That's true.
And then the ball skills. Where have they been since his freshman season? Like, this guy was a stud in his freshman season when it came to his
ball production's low.
Yeah, being around the ball. Like,
yeah, he got 2 out of 5.
Yeah, just hasn't been there since.
Yeah.
Like I wrote here, his freshman season, 3 interceptions, 8 pass breakups. The last 3 years, 6 pass breakups, 2 interceptions.
Yeah. His ball production overall has been atrocious.
Yeah, kind of wild.
There's not very many guys in this class, though, that have good ball production. Well, from the guys who I studied.
Yeah.
Who have good ball production.
Yeah, which is fair. But I feel like he's just kind of pigeonholed into the slot. That's just his position. But dude's got good zone eyes, good leader. He's one of the few people who you could tab as like a safety or /slot that's an actual captain. And he's actually been that for, I think, not just last year, but the year before as well. But yeah, no, I like Malachi Moore a lot.
Yeah.
I am just curious about the back, because it really did cost him the better part of his like sophomore and junior year.
That's just the information, dude, that we just will never understand until post-draft to see if that's like actually healed or not. And that's what sucks. We'll need to see the next Hard Knocks off season to actually understand who has medical red flags or not. Have you seen that?
Dude, no.
Did you see the Giants? Okay, so the Giants had the whole draft.
I saw the clip. Yeah, I saw the clip and then the
picture.
The picture.
Yeah.
Where they had their little blues, their yellows and crap.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. It's funny that the entire Eagles draft was either undersized, character concern, or injury prone. I don't know if they had any of them that were character concern, but the injury prone and this undersized was emphasized often. So, okay, that was my number 5.
That was your number 5, and then I guess we're on to
your number 5.
My number 5. That was Trader, so number 6.
Oh, right, number 6. Yeah,
is Keon Sabb.
Oh,
yeah, another guy who's just like small sample size.
Yeah.
but like was insanely productive in that small sample size.
Yeah.
I think he's got a really good feel for coverage. He's
Yes.
really good downhill explosiveness.
Mm.
Knows for the football with that small sample size is evident, and a guy that's not afraid to be physical. He's coming in at 6'1", 200 pounds. Now at Alabama, formerly of Michigan.
2 good programs for safeties too.
Yeah, right. So like his cons I had were pursuit angles. I thought, and not just like against the run, but also in coverage sometimes.
Sure.
Like I think it was in the Washington game. There was like a couple of swing passes out to who was it? Dylan Johnson, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Big boy.
Yeah, he just got signed too.
Did he? I thought he was on a practice squad, or not a practice squad, but I thought he was signed with the Titans.
I know that one guy got released so he could be signed. I'm forgetting who, because I ended up seeing like a little hype video for him. It was like this past week.
He's a guy that I think could make a roster just because of what he can do in pass protection and as a receiver. Like when you're that big and then you come out of like Mike Leach's air raid, like, whew. That just screams Latavius Murray.
Dude, I miss Latavius Murray, man.
I miss Latavius too. Like he was still producing well.
Yeah, like
in a backup role.
He was a fun player to have in Madden too. Like he had a 92 speed with like 85 truck every year. And it's like the dream, like
the dream.
Guy.
But yeah, he would just kind of attack that poorly.
Yeah,
which I mean, I get it. You're going up against someone who's just kind of like a dump truck.
Yeah,
and you might bounce off. But I felt like he could have taken a better angle where, like, when he met Johnson kind of like didn't have to like adjust or anything. It was just like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna run through this.
Right.
Get off of me, Ant. I put that he tackles high. There was a few times going back to that Washington game, because again, limited sample size, where I thought he attacked over the middle, like high on taller pass catchers.
Right.
Which it ended up like, luckily, like the tight ends for Washington were kind of whatever.
They were like receivers.
Yeah, right. But against like bigger guys, like they're just gonna shrug you off. You're gonna have to like lower the hitbox a little bit. And it was just like, oh, that's interesting that it doesn't just show up as like a run defender, but also in coverage when he's like attacking the outside on these like screens or screens or sweens, or and also stuff over the middle. Yeah. But like, dude's a good athlete, like really good. So
he is my second best graded athlete in the class. He's my number 7 safety, but literally everything you just said, I thought that sometimes he took a while to process the play about what was going on. It was just like,
which I mean,
it's an experience. That's
it's like, what can you do?
Yeah, exactly. It's just something to watch in case he doesn't get better at that. But he is the worst graded run defender out of the safeties that I graded. Granted, that's not by far, because I have somebody who's just a quarter of a point larger, or a quarter of a point better. But yeah, I thought he was middle of the road for pursuit angles overall, in that bottom tier of the middle. But I thought he didn't play with that much strength, but that's because I think he relies on his athleticism. But he still tries. But it's just like, when you're looking at guys like Xavier Nwankpa, there's a little bit of a difference when you see the play strength between the two. So, yeah, I mean, I'm all on board with you with that. I mean, he's a freaking crazy athlete who just pops off the screen, and just limited sample size. So my number 6 is Rod Moore, safety out of Michigan. So I paired up the Michigan guys.
We're going back to Michigan.
Yeah, we're going back to Michigan. I don't like his field instincts too much, because I think that in zone coverage, he's probably one of the worst zone coverage safeties that I graded. But I thought that he was actually quite solid in man coverage. I thought that he had very few moments where he looked like a deer in headlights. I just didn't think that comparatively to other safeties in this class, he played zone coverage well. He didn't process the field in zone coverage as well as he basically understood what was going on. He's reliable in run support, nothing crazy. He's like pretty much just really solid in everything except for ball production. That was pretty lacking. So he's just somebody who's reliable.
Okay. Yeah, I had him a little further down. I think he was safety. Where did I have him specifically? Safety 12 for me. Coming off
when I
the
have all the
injury.
guys, he probably will be too.
Yeah, right. So coming off the injuries, like back to back. First
Yeah.
one was kind of a minor knee injury, but then following that up with the ACL, we don't know when we're going to see him.
Right.
So like, I feel like he's just going to get forgotten about by a lot of people. But like the ball skills, I think are really good. I think he's a high football IQ player.
Yeah.
The play strength's not great.
Yeah.
Kind of is what it is. But I have him as like an early day 3, like 4th round.
Yeah. Especially with injury involved. That makes sense.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I felt like outside of that, like he probably would have been in my like top 100. So
yeah.
I don't know. Get well soon. Get well soon. I don't know if we're going to see him this year or when we're going to see him this year.
Yeah.
So now it's safety 7. 7.
Well, who'd you have at 7?
7, I have Xavier Watts.
Ooh.
I know you hate him.
He is in my bottom 3.
Which is fair. Because
it's a similar range difference to what you have with my safeties.
Yeah, he's very boom or bust. This is a little bit more on point to Andre Cisco.
Yeah. He's like, great production. Great production.
Yeah. But it's like with that comes blown coverages out the wazoo. Yeah. Like overall, his like game is like, hey, reel it back. Like calm down. Like bring it in, bro. Because it's not like I know you're probably gonna hit on this. You're probably gonna hate the dude's pursuit angles. Like
maybe.
Kind of saw that from a mile away, but yeah, no, they're terrible. They're probably among the worst in this class. And it shows up on analytics. Like I think he had a 18% missed tackle rate this past season. You look over his career, I think it's around 20. It's just I don't know. I feel like it's a lack of discipline maybe with him, where it's just like he's too reactive and he needs to play more proactive. Because like I think he's a good athlete, like in terms of just speed, able to get going, and he kind of like he gets in that top gear and he stays there. Like he's constantly, I think, going like 100%. So I like that. I like the physicality. I like the ball skills. Yeah. If you could just reel it back or reel it in, then I think you got a really good player on your hands.
Yeah. I just didn't really,
Oh, I was gonna say I kind of felt like Jalen Pitree's rookie season looked a lot like this.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I could see that. I could see that as a ceiling for Watts. I can. I didn't think he had a lot of acceleration. And I think because of that, his poor pursuit angles mixed with his acceleration made his off coverage really poor, because I feel like he knew exactly what he was doing. I thought he like really had good timing. It's just he would go to the wrong spot. So it's something that really bothered me, is the fact that he was, again, very reactive. I think I agree with that. And for me, I really want a safety to be more proactive in a very quick NFL. So that's probably, I weigh IQ as the highest category, 20% of all my grading. So just processing the proper play and when to do things, how to do things. Like, it does bother me. Yes, he graded the worst probably I've ever graded pursuit angles, but that's only 5% of the thing, because I think I don't want to overweigh that, because there's so many other factors that involve pursuit angles that I'm like, nah, we don't need to be a douche like that. But yeah, good play strength, ball production through the roof. I'm pretty sure he led NCAA with 7 picks last year, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So obviously
he was at the top.
Yeah, he was at the top. Fluid athlete. It's just the acceleration to me was not there. And, when the acceleration is not there and you choose the wrong angle, I just feel like he internally thinks he's a better athlete than he is because of that. And that maybe is why he takes the wrong angles. Like, his body feels like it can do something that it just doesn't. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's the north-south acceleration that really, like, I think that was fine. But it was when it had to start being, like, angled, where he had to take a pursuit angle, that's where I started seeing the issue.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's where I started seeing the issue. That's why he's so much lower. He's 14 out of 16 for me. But
okay. So who's number 7?
That was Saab. Number 8 for
Saab.
me.
Ooh, here we go.
TBD on because of health and stuff. We'll see if he actually survives. Is Lathan Ransom?
Okay.
Played
Thought you were
with
about to pull out a Jalen Catalan. I heard health and I was like, oh, he's the most hurt person in this class.
Dude, I swear. I purposely left him off the list because I was like, no. I was like, fuck no.
I will say he's not my last ranked safety.
Okay.
Because there's someone more hurt than him.
Oh my God. All right. Well, Ransom, yeah, he's dealt with a lot of injuries over the past. It's kind of sucked, but when healthy, I have this written down. He is the best defensive back in the class within 10 yards, 10 if not 15 yards of the line of scrimmage. He is not an overly athletic player. He doesn't change directions all that well. But for some reason, he is really locked down in man coverage, and it makes no sense to me. Like, he doesn't have the physical attributes to get there, but he's just there. I don't get it. I have no clue how he does it. But, I love that about him in the box. I mean, just someone who could wrap around the line of scrimmage and just absolutely destroy people. Something I really do love about him. Has zero ball production, pretty much entirely, like, useless in that category. But for some reason, he's just so damn effective. And in the red zone, I don't know if there's a better safety than him. I just don't know why he locks down when he's in short range. So that's a thing I think is a big positive.
Yeah, I got him at, I think, safety 13 or 14.
Yeah.
But I like him. He came out of Bijan's high school, so right around my way. But
yeah,
no, like you said, injuries. His body's falling apart.
Yeah.
2 serious leg injuries. And he had an elbow and a thumb injury too. So, like, this man, like, if this was
get him some bubble wrap.
Yeah, if this was college football, man, most of his body be red.
Oh my God.
But I think he's like a really good box safety. Like, I like him in the box, like, a ton. He's a big hitter, and I think he's got the physicality. Like,
nice.
It's just, again, medicals are going to be kind of big. That, and, like, for me, box safeties, I don't really start to like box safeties unless you're, like, extraordinary until like early day 3. So,
like Xavier Nwankpa.
He might be different, man. He's different.
He, by the way,
I'm ready to say Derwin James, but he's different.
I don't know if you checked out like my sheet in a minute.
I haven't.
So I have role specific grades for safeties. I said I didn't have a blue chip player. He technically, if you're going off of role specific, is a blue chip box safety.
Ooh.
So he's my safety 1 in his perfect system. I just am now looking at overall defensive back grades. So
nice.
There you go.
So my safety 8, we already talked about it's Amon Wari.
Yeah.
Because, like, him and Watts, I kind of have in like the same.
Right.
Well, him, Watts, and Sab, I have in this like same tier of like, ooh, I can't wait to see a little bit more. And I think they're freaky in one manner or another, whether it's their athleticism, whether it's their ball skills, whether it's they're built like an Adonis god.
Yes. So. Yeah. Cool. I have Kevin Winston as my 9. So my 10 is another fossil. It is Shiloh Sanders. He's gonna be a little bit older. It is what it is. But
if that was the only concern,
well, he actually has a really good motor for a Sanders. That's something I got to give him some credits here. He is pretty damn smart on the field. He has a really high motor, which I did not expect for being a defensive back with the last name Sanders, especially given the entitlement that usually comes with it. You can feel free to at me, but it is what it is. I think his pursuit angles are garbage. I don't think his ball production is good. I don't think he's a very fluid athlete. But I think he's actually better than expected in run support. He does not really look like a deer in headlights. I think he processes the field better than what I expected. And, I think he actually has some pop to him. So
Oh, he's got some pop.
He got some pop. He got some pop, man. Like, so I really did appreciate that about him. So I do think that, you know, he does have some big question marks, but I think he belongs to pure safety. And so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I had him as a priority UDFA. Just because, like,
age.
There's the injury this offseason where it was like non-football related. It was like, okay, are you making wise decisions? I hate it. Like, if it was just like one red flag, I kind of be like, okay,
bro just got out of bed wrong, and then you're just dropping him to UDFA.
Dude, I mean, okay. So this is what I put. I like my first con is just like walk-in red flag, right? That's literally what I call it. Walk-in red flag.
Damn.
So older side, he's gonna be 25 heading into his rookie season.
Yeah.
Not the end all be all, but suffering an injury that was outside of football activities kind of sucks. I get it. Things happen. However, the baggage he brings to the table after that just makes you willing to let another team take a shot on him. Essentially, like, I'd rather get him as a UDFA than having to spend a draft pick on him. At that point, it's like, let another team. Because then he's got the whole bankruptcy thing where, well, prior to that, he might have allegedly hit a security guard when he was 15. It was like, oh, that was like a decade ago. Well, he's still dealing with it now. And, bankruptcy, but living this like crazy lavish lifestyle. It's like, it's just too much. If it was one thing, like, I would be like with Shedeur, it's just like, okay, no one likes Colorado because of just their energy, what they bring to the table. Like, no one likes that type of
4-9 energy.
Yeah, right. And it's like, okay, if that's like, okay, that's one thing. But you know what? Screw it. Shedeur's a really good prospect. I just don't think he's that good of a prospect for me to be like, because I still think he would be like day 3. Because like I think he's a solid athlete, but you mentioned it, stiff athlete.
Yeah,
he wants to be a hitter. Like, he's basically just a mini linebacker. Like, you talk about the ball skills. It's not because he's not around the ball. It's because he wants to beat the crap out of whoever's trying to catch that football. And then
he's like to play receiver instead of play ball.
Yeah, right. So it's like, it's not. I think he is a draftable prospect, but there's just too much there where I'm just like, you know what? Let's see if he doesn't get drafted, and then we could hopefully sign him and bring him into camp.
That's understandable. I mean, you know my opinion about the Sanders entitlement and then, you know, off-field issues.
Yeah, which it's like, I mean, that whole Colorado season didn't really help how they just kind of like
didn't do any favors.
But it's like, I get it. Like, they're a hot new thing. Deion's kind of like, I know honestly, even from a record perspective, this is a team that's further along in their quote unquote rebuild.
Yeah,
as a program, and Deion's done a lot of great things. So being the talk of the town, bringing eyes on it, I get it.
Right,
I'm fine with it, but there is a certain type of just like how they, it's like,
I just realized I put Vanderbilt as the logo for Will Shepherd because he transferred to Colorado, right?
He did.
That just got to me. It's just sitting in there. Like, I'm like, I knew something was wrong. I was like, he went to Vanderbilt. I was like,
you know, that's more.
I'm like, what the hell?
That's more than what I wanted to watch. Like, that's more Shiloh than I really wanted to talk about. Because I'm sure he's a great guy. Like, I haven't.
He liked my tweet. I was proud of that. He seems at least not to be a douchebag.
Yeah, right.
If you like my tweet, you're fine with me. How about that? I give you a +5. Oh my god.
+5 rounds. My safety 9. No. I got another guy
10.
ahead of him.
Oh.
Yeah. Before I get into 10, my 9 is technically Jahdae Barron.
Ooh, he's my 12.
Okay, we're in like the
if
same.
You start factoring in all these off-field issues, which I haven't really fully done that into the grading system yet.
I haven't. He has off-field issues?
No. I'm prefacing by here like Shiloh. Lathan.
Oh, I was like about to be broken-hearted, dude. Because I liked him last year, and I basically just kept him in the same range.
No, with Shiloh and and Lathan, if they cannot get their shit in order, he's going to be my safety 10 or my DB.
Well, I mean, okay. But those are two different types of getting their crap in order.
They're guys with
talk down on like Lathan's probably a really good guy.
Yeah, they're guys with question marks.
Not to say
not the same.
Not. It's just, golly, there's a lot there. Like, you can't look at me and say, there's not a lot there.
We're gonna have to speed this up if we're gonna go into receivers.
Yeah. I'll go over Barron real quick. I mean, to be fair, I had a tree fall down. I was too busy talking.
That was like a 3-minute segment. Yeah, freaking tree.
Well, power went out. Things got a little crazy.
Tree yapology.
Yeah, buddy. Barron, he's great. I think he's probably a slot only, but I think he could probably play in the box. Game changer. If this guy can touch the football, watch out. He had a fumble returned for a touchdown, an interception returned for a touchdown, and a blocked punt returned for a touchdown. I like the physicality he plays with at 5'11", 200 pounds. Good short area quicks. I think his route recognition, at least everything underneath, is really good. Tackling technique, drops his head, doesn't look where he's going. It is. Yep. I get it. Yep. I get it.
I have that too.
Sometimes I have like a bird, when you're driving and a bird kind of like flies across and you kind of do this.
Yeah.
I get it. I imagine when ball carriers come in, you kind of want to do a little bit of that. Recovery speed. This guy's built for the box. There's no recovery. Like, it's not that there's no recovery speed. It's just like,
he's not a stealth athlete.
Yeah. His short area stuff's so good. It's like, just keep him there. So there's Barron.
Nice.
I feel like I did that quickly.
Yeah, you gave it some good justice too. I think he's just unbelievably fluid as an athlete. He changes directions on a dime. He has the best change of direction grade out of any safety for me, or defensive back.
He's hella good, dude.
He's really good. But yeah, I ended up just having some lacks in terms of football IQ overall. I thought that sometimes he just processed the play slower than what I wanted, and that's okay. Physical athlete doesn't mean he's actually applicable, said play strength, but not a liability. Doesn't have a ton of ball production, solid pursuit angles. He's just a rock solid dude. There's not really much that's bad with him, which is a big plus. So there you go. My number 11 is Hunter Wohler.
Okay, we literally have them in like the same spot.
So you have him at 11 or 10?
No. I have one more guy at
10,
quote unquote 10, and then I have Wohler at actually 12.
Okay, so
then I have Rod Moore ahead of him.
Right, forgot that you had Rod at 11.
Sometimes I do too.
So Hunter Wohler, to me, super high motor type of guy. For me, I was surprised with the lack of physicality to his game. But he also takes.
I think that's fair, but he does his best work in the box.
He does. That's what's super weird. I remember noting this, but it's like he was way more athletic when he was in the box than when he was away. Like, he just applied his athleticism better.
You know what? I think it's like he's just a different player when it comes to like taking on blocks than he is with taking on ball carriers.
I think that's fair. Something I did note with him is that his first pursuit angle wasn't always the best, but his correction angles were really solid. I like that about him. And there were points where I thought he was a really limited athlete until I saw him try to chase down a ball carrier, and then I just saw this dude fly. So I was very confused at the consistency of the application of athleticism, but I do think it's there. I don't really think there's much that's bad with Hunter Wohler. I'll just say that. Maybe he's not a good man coverage safety, but you wouldn't be using him for that anyways.
Yeah. One of the first things I put down for him, I was like, line of scrimmage legend. Like, this guy's just really good around line of scrimmage. Like, they need to use him more as a pass rusher, like a blitzer, because he was super effective at that. He's also a pretty sure tackler for the most part. So, like, he's a good player. It's just like some of the things you mentioned there. Like, is his range good? Is his range bad? Who's to tell? But I mean, again, we're talking about a guy that's probably in the box, which means early day 3 for me, unless you're extraordinary.
Yeah.
So I had Andrew Makuba
At 10?
at 10.
I had him at 13.
Oh, okay. We're literally in the same range with you.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you have more safeties. I'm probably going to have him closer to like 20-ish range, like 15 to 20.
I mean, I have more safeties, but the guys that we have like in the top half
are relatively similar. Yeah.
It just means that
just had two guys.
Yeah. The other guys that I've watched over you that aren't all that. They're fine. They're like, there's some guys I like, but it's just like reality of where they're going to be. Here, let me let Goj out real quick before I talk about Makuba.
Yeah, dude. Makuba's a beast, but
he's a great athlete.
I was honestly a little bit annoyed with his top speed.
Really?
I think he's a 4.55 guy. I saw 4.5 to 4.55. I saw quite a few receivers get separation on him in drag routes.
I could see him being more explosive than fast.
Yes. I think he's really solid.
Which is like, now I'm super curious. Like he's going to be playing like safety there in Texas. Like he's not going to be playing in the slot. Barron's already got that locked down.
I know. I loved him in the slot too, though.
Or maybe they put Makuba in the slot and Barron plays like box. I don't know, man. There's a lot of fun to be had. College football's coming, but he plays with reckless abandon. He may not be like the biggest guy because he's coming in at 6 foot 190. He is a little bit lanky, but he plays physical, and I don't mind it. Like he doesn't mind putting his nose in the action. He'll go and put up a shot on ball carriers. Like he doesn't hit with power, but he hits with like momentum.
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, he was also playing slot primarily as well.
Well, yeah, last year, but I mean the year before, because
like big.
He was kind of he played like around, like he was playing outside corner the year before. He was playing deep. He was playing in the box.
Isn't that crazy? Like he was like a boundary corner, and then he moved to the slot. Then he's like safety. He's played everything. He's a jack of all trades. Yeah.
It's just for as explosive as he is, no ball skills really to his name.
Yeah. His production is pretty low.
Yeah, but honestly, when you like consider he was in the slot last year, like a 54.3 completion rate allowed is actually hella good.
Right. And he's actually really smart in zone coverage too.
Yeah, dude. So I think he's just a good player. Like I feel like he's
not a run sport guy though, in my opinion.
Yeah, but he's not built. Like he's not afraid to go out and get after it. Like I get it. Like one of my things here were pursuit angles, so I immediately knew Alex ain't gonna like it.
I actually gave him a good grade on pursuit angles.
Really?
I did.
Let's see what I put here. Oh, I said he overran ball carrier sometimes, and
I think he could be a little overzealous. I think he's almost the exact.
That was actually the first thing I said. Too aggressive.
Yeah, there you go. I think he is honestly the opposite of Xavier Watts. I think he might be thinking he's a worse athlete than Watts thinks. He's like a better athlete. It's kind of like the antithesis of each other.
But he's good. Any other guys you have here that we haven't talked about?
Aubrey Burks.
Okay. The definition, I got him a little ways down.
Yeah, definition. Well, he's definitely in a bottom tier with Jordan Hancock.
I haven't checked out Hancock yet. I thought he was a corner, and then I saw he played a bunch of slot snaps because I was putting in all the analytics for the corners.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, guess I'm going to move this guy over.
Damn, I had this note for Theo Weiss. I was like, oh, we finally had a good play. And then I realized that play was versus Jordan Hancock and not the actually good corners. His only good play pretty much was against freaking Jordan Hancock. I was like, damn it.
We say bad. He's just like,
he's super arguably he's UDFA for me.
Yeah, I think he's like back end. Like,
I do not like his game at all. Like zero ball production as well, by the way. He's pretty much tied with freaking
former 5-star.
Yay. But I mean, obviously if you're at Ohio State starting, most likely you're a 4 or 5. But yeah, I mean, Aubrey Burks, big letdown in my opinion. I was very excited for his game. first couple reps, I was like, oh, awesome. But, just somebody who just didn't process the game very well. It took a couple seconds to like react to runs. To me, I mean, like he's pretty much a coverage guy. And even at that, it's not like he's a supreme athlete, but he's not bad at any stretch. So
yeah,
I was just kind of underwhelmed with him.
I had him like, you are a relatively fine player.
Right.
Like athleticism's very mid, no physicality. The first thing I put on here was run defense is kind of meh.
Yeah.
And by meh, I mean like you said, like he's more of a passing guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. He's kind of just that dude who I trust in probably a deep safety role.
Yeah. There's probably honestly there's only a couple of guys I want to like just give quick little shout outs to. If that's okay.
Yeah.
Hudson Clark out of Arkansas. He is literally played all over the place for Arkansas, like outside corner, slot, safety. Yep. I think he's a very good athlete with a lot of good versatility, but he's really thin at 6'2", 190.
Right.
And his man coverage is just like he gets bodied even by smaller receivers.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, like it's the biggest anomaly. Like the 8th wonder of the world is large individuals with thin legs. The 9th wonder of the world are defensive backs who get bodied by little dudes. Like it is what it is.
But the ball skills are good with him, and I think he attacks the football well. So
yeah,
I got him in that mid day 3 area.
Cool.
Yam Bakes, who's now at Ole Miss, formerly of South Alabama.
Yes,
dude,
I heard about this guy.
Listen, I don't think he's never gonna be like a first 4 round type of player, but he's a guy that like, and I'll actually talk about the player I got right behind him. They're both just 2 guys that I'm like, their overall understanding of the game is great. So it's like, okay, they lack athletic traits, or in Yam's case, like his tackling technique is like, he's just super aggressive, wants to lay the lumber, whiffs on a lot of tackles. Like his missed tackle percentage over his career is 22.4. But like really good ball skills. If you go back, not last year, but the year before, when he was playing for South Alabama, he has a nasty one-handed interception against, I think it's Western Kentucky.
Okay.
In the red zone. Like the ball skills are really good. The want to be physical is really good there. His ability to just diagnose the play in general and be around the football is really good. Just a good player. I don't know if he's going to start for Ole Miss, though. That's my only thing. Because Ole Miss brought in a lot of transfers.
They had that money, dude.
Yeah.
They had the cash river flowing.
The other guy is RJ Mickens from Clemson. Just another guy that's just really good. For him, I have like suspect range, tackling technique, and
those are 2 things that do not work well together.
Yeah.
Usually the guys who don't have good range at least can be good run defenders.
And then I put also just too physical in coverage when it comes to actually having to get on a pass catcher. But he's got a good build at 6 foot, 210. He's played everywhere for the Tigers. And again, another guy that just processes the game really well. Yeah. And what helps these 2 is they've played a lot of special team snaps, like a lot. So like that puts them in draftable territory. I think they're just good players that can impact early on special teams.
True. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, I'm excited to do my deep dive on it. We'll circle back eventually and highlight those guys too. Because I have a lot of names.
I was going to say, let's get to these receivers who now you have more than I do.
I probably by a good margin, right?
I got 45, I think.
Oh, shit, good for you. Okay. Look at that.
I mean, there were a lot of names where I'm like, dang, I really want to go back and watch some of these guys.
You see, all 22 was lacking for a couple of the dudes I wanted. There's 3 of them. Colin Lacey, South Alabama, there just wasn't all 22.
Oh, yeah. I want to get to him because his analytics are really nice.
I know. Kanata Mumfield.
He's at Louisville, too.
Yeah. Pitt all 22 just wasn't there. Kanata's at Louisville?
Mumfield, Lacey, yeah.
Oh, you're saying about Colin. Yeah, Colin. Yeah, I'm super excited for that receiving core.
Mumpfield, he was on my list last year, and I didn't get to him. And
yeah,
here he is. Oh, I need to take Rah off.
Oh my god, dude!
I didn't get to Rah, and I'm happy I didn't.
Dude, I got to Rah. He's my wide receiver 25, and I was so excited to talk about him. Fucker,
dude.
I cannot believe this. Like, seriously, dude. I wasted my time. That could have been an offensive tackle I was studying.
I'm glad because the only guy I had for Georgia was Lovett.
Oh, I didn't.
Well, I mean, I guess Kobe, but I had to watch Miami film for Kobe. The only one that I watched last year. Yeah, you had Lovett, and then who was the other guy that went in the draft this past year? He was big. I think he ended up being
Rosemead Jackson.
Yeah, him.
Yeah. Yeah, Rosemead Jackson.
I think those were the two lead receivers anyway. Right. I mean, I forgot McConkey.
Yeah, lad.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah. Freaking Delp as well.
Oh, dude, yeah. Delp's full projection just because, like, oh wow.
Yeah, no, he is kind of like mini Brock to me. But yeah, it was Kanata Mumfield, Colin Lacey, and then Chris Brazel.
Yeah, I didn't get to Brazel either.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Tulane all 22 just ain't out there, which sucks, by the way. I mean, you'd think that one of our two sources would pop up some maybe, what's his name? Who's the quarterback? Why am I tripping? Michael Pratt. It's like you'd think that they at least have a couple games on him. No.
Have you tried going to Pratt tape?
Pratt tape?
Yeah, like Michael Pratt's.
Oh, yeah, no, they don't have it on Caddies.
Like going for last year?
Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, okay, well, let's be resourceful. Nope.
Oh, that's wild.
That's what I was saying. I was like, dude, they must have Tulane all 22.
Because usually that's how I get away with it by like,
yeah. I mean, you probably didn't study this guy. I don't know if you did. Dante Thornton Jr.
Dante what?
Dante Thornton Jr. Tennessee.
Nope.
So that dude's a fucking baller. We'll talk about him. I'll do that in my
I will say the guys I didn't get to that I wanted to, just to give shout outs. Daniel Jackson from Minnesota.
Okay.
There's Elijah Surratt. I forgot where he came from, but he's at Indiana now. It's just his analytics were really good.
Okay.
There's Robert Lewis, who I think was initially Georgia State. He's at Auburn now.
Auburn's building a good transfer core.
Yeah, I didn't get to the other Auburn guy either, Keandre Lambert-Smith.
We'll talk about him. I got to him.
Nice. Baron Brown? Yeah, from Kentucky. And honestly, I just wanted to see a little bit of him just because his return stuff is kind of nutty.
Yeah.
And then
we'll talk about Berrien.
Just the sample size with Jeremy Bernard from Washington out Alabama. Because it's like I remember just watching him, not watching him, but watching the other guys, or when I was doing a watch along, just enjoying the game as a casual.
Yeah.
Noticing, he's stepping up in here, especially when McMillan was down and stuff. So he was someone I really wanted to get to, but I was just like, man, I got to get to corners.
Right. I mean, we'll talk about him as well because I ended up studying him.
Did you? Ooh, I'm excited. Let's go ahead and start this sucker off. Okay. Wide receiver 1.
What? You want to you want to light the candle already? Because we got big difference on wide receiver 1.
Oh, let's kick. You know what? I know why you hate wide receiver 1s. The same reason you didn't like Malik Neighbors last year.
I did like
the route running is piss poor.
At the moment, he developed his route running over the year.
He did, but I'm saying at the beginning.
I don't know who your number 1 is. Your number 1's Burden, isn't it?
It's Luther Burden, yeah.
Yeah, he's in my top 10.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I don't hate him. I mean, I'm out of 60 guys.
I think Luther Burden, just because and I bring up Malik Neighbors because it's for me, it just made so much sense last year when we were talking. I was all about this, but after the catch, look at all these forced missed tackles, and you're like, yeah, the route run's kind of man. I was like, I get that, but these
and then he boosted his route running, dude. He made so many strides in his route running. I love that about him.
Oh, Neighbors, yeah.
That's why
he was crisp coming out this year.
He almost was my wide receiver 1 at the end just because of that. I'm like, oh my god.
I mean, he was a top 3 or 4 prospect for me.
Yeah.
Like I loved Malik. I loved Malik coming into the year. I loved him coming out.
Yeah.
But
Dude's a baller.
Luther Burden, his build, he's built like a bowling ball, 5'11", 208. At least a bowling ball for a receiver.
Yeah, he's very condensed.
Yeah, very elusive. 24 missed tackles, straight up game changer. Could score from anywhere on the field. He's got return. We haven't seen it at Mizzou, but he has returned chops. He returned 8 punts for touchdowns in high school. And again, he's just tough to bring down. He's feisty and physical. Like, will keep turning his legs through contact. Again, I'm a sucker for the forced missed tackle stuff. That's just me. I think he's a really good athlete as well. Like, just his like short area quicks. The long speed might be like fine. I don't think it's necessarily elite, but I think it's still pretty darn good. He just gets that like top speed really quickly. The things that I put that I didn't like: route running. Obvious, get it. He's not crisp necessarily coming out of his breaks. Sometimes he does the thing we constantly see at the Senior Bowl where it's like these guys are running their one-on-ones and he's out here just smashing the freaking analog stick, doing his moves. And it's like, okay, well, routes have timing.
Right.
Come on, bud. Hurry it up. Get to whatever landmark you need to. Figure it out.
Dude,
I also put at some points there was like maybe some effort concerns where like it didn't, like the ball wasn't not necessarily coming to him, but not coming to his side of the field, and where he just kind of like
he's lazy,
ran half speed. I didn't want to say that because I don't think that's necessarily
it happened on way too many plays, dude. Multiple games. Even when he was a potential target, I saw him freaking running half-assed. It bothered me, genuinely. He would have been a starting grade receiver, by the way. If he would have been my number 3 receiver if he played hard every play.
Easy. But I like him. He's one.
Yeah. He's a fun player. He's my number 9 guy. And that's just because I fell in love with quite a few other players that it wasn't because I didn't like Luther Burden. I think that he's really solid. I actually didn't think that his run after the catch ability was as translatable as his stats say. I don't know why. But I'm excited to be proven wrong on that. But I ended up continuing watching games. And I just couldn't get fully sold on it. Still think he's solid, but like he was kind of a jack of all trades. For me, I ended up saying he was Deontay Johnson with Terrace Marshall mentality. And that's a really good player. Well, he has better hands, at least. That's a big plus. He has much better hands than Deontay Johnson. But skill-wise.
56.5 contested catch at 5'11".
He's really solid. Really solid. So, big fan of that. I mean, he's just somebody that, I thought was really good all around. And some guys I thought were really great all around. That guy, who I think you might have a 5th round grade on. So this is going to be my Tolly Fuaga. Jaden Higgins, wide receiver 1, Iowa State.
Oh, okay.
So this is Xavier Hutchinson all over again. So I have my PTSD.
Yeah.
So I just love everything pretty much about him except maybe run after the catch ability. Someone who has I think it's a sub 2%, maybe it's sub 3% drop rate. Reliable over 50% contested catch rate. Yeah. So reliable hands, in terms of contested catch as well. Something I did note about him, he doesn't do a very good job positioning himself in front of the defender on some contested catch balls. We'll get to Colby Young soon, but that was his specialty, like just getting in position. Yeah. But Jaden Higgins got almost to a blue chip grade without any form of boost from it factor, which is to me incredible. He's a big guy, 6'4", 210, and he's basically shifting himself and doing a great job. He gets separation better than I ever expected for someone of that size because he uses physicality. And I know I actually read some notes of yours on him. You don't really like the application of physicality or the route running as much, but I think at the top of the route, he used it at the right time. And I said he gives me almost Sam Laporta vibes, but wide receiver version.
Okay.
So he's like not jaw-dropping athlete, but I think he can pick up speed and he can get there. And I think he's explosive enough. And he's just so smooth on his slants and his quick, his like skinny posts and such. Like really smooth. And it's just weird for a man of that size to move almost like an efficient elite route runner.
That's fair. Like I put smooth mover, and like the first thing I note is, the first thing I note is the force missed tackles. But right after that was at the top of his routes, like him like coming out of his breaks. But I thought he did, like, when he did get put in press, I didn't think he had enough ways of defeating it.
I have an agreement with you. I said after 5 yards, he is almost unguardable with press, but if you press him at the line of scrimmage, he has trouble.
Yeah, because I honestly didn't really see much of a release package from him.
I didn't have it as an elite release package, but I think the fact that I did see some of it. I saw something that gave me confidence that it'll work in the NFL. There's some guys who I have absolutely no confidence in, and we'll get there, but I thought it was adequate.
I liked him. Like, there's this bunch here where, like, you could just see a couple of the guys that are listed around him that
This
I'm
might
like,
just be a type of wide receiver you don't like, though, like based on the past.
You can tell, yeah, right?
Yeah,
like
I just know this is my type.
I have all those guys listed around the same, right? Like right there with one another. And I'm like, I feel like one of these guys are going to break out, but I don't know who. Not break out, but like increase their draft stock by a ton.
I want to guess.
Just not sure who.
So I'm going to guess that Bo Collins is also in that group for you because he has a
I didn't get to Bo Collins.
Oh, okay. Because I feel like you're going to have a similar reaction with
because I was going to say, isn't he just kind of a big possession guy?
For the most part. We'll get to him. We'll get to him.
Because I recall the little bit I've seen, but not enough for me to like sit down and like, I don't have a true eval on him yet, but I get the idea. So that was your number one.
Yes.
I like it. All right. Well, I'm going to go plain Jane. I'm going to go with Tetero McMillan. Did I put he wasn't a 5-star, was he? He was like a 3-star, wasn't he?
I thought he was
he was Mr. California.
Yeah, no, he's like he was a big producer in high school.
Yeah, him and Fafita.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I just want to be sure of this because I put he was a 5-star. That's wild. I put things in my notes, and I like to second guess things sometimes. It's like,
hey, it's always good to second guess yourself if you can back it up.
That's true. That's true. Oh, and I could back it up, bud.
You can back it up.
I got some junk in the trunk.
Oh my god.
He's just built different, man. 6'5", 210. Like,
he's big.
I put he's a giraffe. Like he's a giraffe, like going across the Sahara, and you could just toss it up. And I don't think he's like physically like dominating at the catch point. It's just simply like
you just can't get there.
Yeah, you can't get there. I will go. I go above the rim. You're over here slapping net. Sorry, buddy. Good luck, Godspeed. Not gonna happen. He is pretty like. I guess you could say strong after the catch. Like he keeps his feet moving. He's got like a real slender build. Like at least it looks that way. So like
he's not a liability after the catch.
Yeah. Like people will wrap him up, but he keeps the feet moving where it's like he's dragged guys that try to like ankle wrap him, but it's not like he's like tough to bring down. But like you're gonna have to get a good clean hit on him. But I like the release package with him. Like I thought he was like really good at whether it was hand fighting or he had this. Oh, what do you call it? Where like he kind of like fades to the outside and like gets you think he's gonna come inside, but then he just bam, like hits it long. I feel like it's like a skip release. I don't know. I'm not familiar with all the terminology, but but he does it well. Like he is a good downfield target. His catch rate was really good, 2.2%. Right. 50% of the contested catch. Like he's got a lot of highlights on film, but again, I kind of worry a little bit of like, okay, how physical can you be at the catch point against maybe a more physical NFL?
Right. That's my big concern.
Yeah. And then he's not going to be a separator. That's kind of why I want that contested catch number to be a little bit more dominant. Like, was it like a Drake London, which that's kind of my comp for him right now. I just really want to see the contested catch get a lot better.
Yeah.
But like even Drake London, I felt like was maybe a bit smoother of a mover. Like McMillan's more of a long strider, but London was like, because he was a like basketball background, like he went up and he was smooth.
Yeah, he was. I love Drake London.
Yeah, so not a perfect comp. Again, don't settle on comps until the end for me. But that was the thing that came into mind. Where I think it's maybe more similar to like, oh, this is the style, this is the type of player, and this is probably where I think he's going to go at.
Okay. So, do you want to hear where I have him ranked overall, or
best ranked 34th?
Best overall, or best in terms of their role specific?
Just give me overall, man.
24th.
Okay.
But I was role specific 11th. I think he's the 11th best receiver in the class if he gets brought to the right spot. I will say, I think he might be the best receiver in the class. I'm saying this right now. I think he might be a top 15 receiver in the NFL if he goes to the Lions. That's like the one spot I think unbelievably believe in him.
In an NFL that's tried to get faster and faster and faster.
He's fast. He has burning speed downfield. He just is not.
Well, yeah, he's like long strides.
Yeah.
Like it built up. But,
get down there, though.
But what I'm saying is in an NFL that's been trying to get like more speed, and then it's kind of come at the expense of dominant size.
Yeah.
So now it's like maybe like every roster will have that one tall guy, or maybe two like potential possession guys. So I feel like he's going to be in a lot more demand compared to any of the other receivers in this class.
Right. I think he will be going in the first round. But I want to hear this, because rather than just hearing, oh, he's the 24th best, I want to go and just like, because this is obviously a big name, like we'll go category by category, and I want you to say whether you agree or disagree with the grade, because obviously a lot of this is depending on weights and such. So I don't think he does in routes, out routes, curls, comebacks very well at all. I don't think he's a specialist in that.
I agree.
I think he's actually pretty adequate at doing those slants, posts, post corners and such.
Yeah, I think the more simpler the route, the better. I mean,
I just don't like the hard cuts. I think that he just doesn't break. At 6'5", it's very tough to get down.
I was going to say, it's not like this man ain't dropping his hips.
Yeah, he's not supposed to be. That's why I was saying, like, oh, why my highest grade for him, because the possession/red zone, it's 74.75 compared to a 66.75. Like, it's a big difference. Like, I think that he's going to be good, but, it's a holistic receiver. Maybe not so much. Right after the catchability, not bad. We already discussed that, but it's like nothing special. Separation, pretty close to the middle/bottom of the pack.
Okay. I totally agree. That was one of my
elite hands.
Yes. Yeah.
Like drop percentage wise. Like for not
I think so.
Catch.
Yeah.
I love
I don't know how much more tested he's gonna get in the Big 12.
I know.
So it's like
TBD on that, dude.
Yeah.
TBD. Release package, solid. Nothing elite, but solid.
Really good.
Yeah, like nothing elite, but I honestly thought it was really respectable. Speed, actually really freaking solid. Something I didn't see about him is just those deep routes. You'll actually see him pick up that speed and just fly.
That's what I'm saying. Like long strides. Typically, like that's what it was with Nico Collins when he came out of Michigan.
Right.
Like this was someone who was at his best attacking the intermediate to long parts of the field.
Right. And then so explosiveness, nothing really there because he's a long strider. Fair?
Yes, I agree.
He's really solid versus the press because he really knows how to get in good position.
Agree.
He's good at the contested catch, mainly probably because he hasn't played against defenders. Well, he plays against Tacario Davis and Ephesians Prysock all the time. I can almost guarantee you they're better at the contested catch game than any of the corners he's facing.
Yeah, that's fair. In like practice, that's fair.
Yeah, I feel like he's used to being challenged by them, so it's a little bit easier on that. And I just don't think he's a great blocker. I mean, he's long, he's lanky, he's a draft. I don't think he's like
he's a body.
Yeah, he's just a body. So that's what makes it up. Like, there's a difference when you hear 24th overall compared to, this is how he got to it. Like, I don't feel like there's going to be very much dissension with that. That's why, That's why I started making role specific grades.
All right,
So
quit with this foreplay and tell me who your. Did I say floor play? Foreplay.
I got you. My
tell
wide
me who
receiver
your number 2 is.
I'm not going to let you guess because you haven't studied him. It's Bo Collins.
Oh,
I love Bo.
I was just gonna say, like, how did we just talk about Bo Collins?
Yeah. So, Bo, first off, you see like the pictures of him. The dude is just like cheesing. He looks like the nicest guy you've ever met in your life. But 6'3", 202 pounds, really solid build. Transferred from Clemson to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's heavily underrated, by the way. Like, they're a good squad this year. But
not in my top 25. I'll tell you that. They're not underrated.
I'm going to be putting them probably in the playoffs. So,
I mean, I hope so. There's 12 teams.
Yeah,
in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would debate putting them top 4. Like, I'm getting to that point. So TBD.
So,
I haven't looked at the rankings, so it's just
enough,
like in my mind, it wouldn't be.
They aren't able to be a 4 seed, like a top 4 seed, because of those go to the conference championships.
You're right about that. That's
which is. I'm just gonna say the ACC. I think, at best, the conference winner there is going to come out with they're going to be a 2-loss team. It's going to be like a 10-2, 11-2 after the conference. Spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think it's going to be
significantly worse.
I think the ACC is going to be super competitive. Like,
I'm excited for it.
Miami, Florida, Clemson. I think Louisville's got a really good squad. NC State. I think Virginia Tech's flying under the radar.
Dude, I ended up applying for media credentials for the SMU games. And I got all the games except TCU and Florida State of all fucking things. But
why?
Just because they probably people, damn. Oh, I thought it was my hair sticking up. I'm like, goddamn. Just because it's super popular. So I can guarantee you all the other networks are going to be there. But yeah, I'm going to be able to see Pittsburgh, BC there. I'm going to see Cal. That's cool. I get to see Jay Knott in person. It's fun. So yeah, it bums me out, but I wanted to see more of the ACC games at SMU. Doesn't get to happen this year. But going forward,
SMU, for being the ACC, they're good. They're actually contenders in there too, just because
I think so.
Schedule's
easy,
freaking easy.
Yeah.
That's the second year in a row.
Yeah,
like when they were in the AAC.
Yeah,
they had easily the easiest schedule there.
Dude, we've had some cake schedules recently. We had some tough ones years past where like Cincinnati would come into town, Memphis was at their peak. Like there were some years, but regardless, Bo Collins. Say, yeah, what? Say
quick before we get back on track. Some of the better teams have really tough schedules. Like Texas's schedule, I think, is pretty tough. Oklahoma, I think it's going to be a rough first year in the SEC for Oklahoma.
Okay.
Like some of the better teams now, like even Oregon and such, like it's in the SEC and the Big Ten, it's going to be a bloodbath.
I'll say this. It's the perfect year for a 12-team playoff because of the fact that, you get to see all the good teams and face each other. So it's cool.
Yep.
But back to Bo. So Bo Collins is not going to be your elite route runner. That's not his game. He has the best release footwork and upper body work that I've ever seen. He's the best release package guy I've ever watched. Making guys like Ben Morrison look silly, which he's going to be able to face Ben Morrison every single day in practice, which is going to be cool. He's not a run after the catch threat, but he does generate separation because of his release as well as his physicality. He does have an issue with drops. If I'm not mistaken, it's like at 10 or 11%.
11.6.
11.6. I'm just looking at my grades.
That was just last year.
Yeah. So, so around 11% drop, which is not great, but I didn't see it being that much of an issue overall. But yeah, best release package I've ever seen. The best motor I have ever seen. We're talking about run plays that are going on the opposite side of the field. This dude is hauling ass downfield, making the defender think he's going to go on a go ball. Like, just when you never expect him to be working his hardest, he is. It's a complete antithesis to what Luther Burden does. Like that's the thing to me. I love players who just work their ass off. He did get a +3 because of that. So that, as well as like just being an unbelievable release guy. He's not going to be a plus. He's not going to be a plus athlete, but he is a really solid athlete. Very underrated. And because of that good release package, you can't really press him because he's going to take advantage of you. And then he is a feisty blocker. He will plow your ass into the turf if he wants to. And pretty sure he's watching. Like 43, 44% contested catch. What's up?
Oh, I said, dude, kids are watching.
What? You were talking about having some junk in the trunk and pushing it back. All right.
I wasn't talking about plowing that junk in the trunk.
Well, he plows that junk in the trunk. No, I love him. I really do. I think he's fantastic. And he likes tweets.
I'm starting to see a connection.
Yeah. No, but yeah, Bo, it's the motor and it's the release package that I think are just honestly phenomenal. Get him on the drugs machine.
All right. So my number 3 is Isaiah Bond.
Twins.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this guy's fast. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. He's a fucking beast.
Yeah, 5'11", 180, and you know what? I don't care. I don't care. So he ran track in high school where he won state titles for the Georgia 6A 100 meter and 200 meter. So decided to transfer from Alabama because Nick Saban retired. He came out and said, hey, no Saban, no Bond.
Yep.
I'm out of here.
Yep.
But the ball skills are really good. So he made that catch at the end of that Auburn game on that 4th and goal that was at the 33 or whatever. Like, he plays the ball really well in air. I think he's an absolute dog. Like, he plays bigger and stronger than he actually is.
Yep.
And he's not going to be deterred if he has to go in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
And he's not like afraid of traffic. He's not afraid of oncoming defenders.
Yeah.
He knows his priority is to get that football. My biggest knocks with him is route running because he just doesn't tempo anything, like fluctuate. He's running at one speed, which is like, you know what? That's not going to get by at the NFL level. You're going to have to sell something at one point. So he just kind of got to become a better salesman. And then the yak ability.
Yes.
Which I put here. He didn't have a ton of quick passing game opportunities, but still for someone as athletically gifted as him, you would expect more forced missed tackles. I want to see more elusiveness as a ball carrier.
100%. I don't really have anything to add on to that. Like, his hard cut change of direction only got boosted because of that one Malachi Starks rep that we were talking about.
Dude, it was literally a deer in the headlights.
Yeah. He's technically the same exact grade as my number 4. So I kind of have 2 guys tied at 3, but I'll say we'll be twins on that one.
Okay. You just go into number 4 then.
We'll just do it. So tied number 3. Technically I have him number 3 above Bond, but who gives a shit? They're both tied. Deion Burks, wide receiver, Oklahoma.
CC.
So kind of almost the opposite of Bond in the fact that he's an elite route runner with Garbo hands. Like, just somebody who knows how to sink into his hips.
I don't know if they're bad hands or if they're just, I think they're inconsistent hands. I don't think they're,
I would agree with that.
He's got some highlight reel catches.
Yeah, but I'm trying to keep it simplistic before we evolve.
Okay.
He has like a 16% drop rate, man, right? Or it's like,
well, yeah, it's bad. It's inconsistent,
it's not good.
But like, he's got some nasty, like, laying out in what
he does have some good extension catches. Yes. But I mean, in terms of the statistics, he's a great route runner with Garbo hands. Those hands questionable because of the fact that the system he plays in, as well as the quarterback play, not always the most consistent. So, that might be a reason why. But elite release package, just somebody who is a super fluid and very fast athlete. Because of that good release package, he actually can hold up to press coverage fairly well. And this even against Will Johnson. I don't think he's going to be a contested catch threat, nor is he going to be a great blocker, but I don't think he's a huge liability there. Just overall, if he can get on the jugs machine, he could easily be a starting wide receiver, if not a wide receiver 1 on a team.
Yeah. I mean,
that was a game where I fell in love with Will Johnson, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Will Johnson, dude.
Oh, my God.
Like, he's been hyped up so much that
he's the best player I've ever studied. Hands down.
Oh, that's what I'm seeing everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna have to have a cigarette or two prepared.
Dude, it was great. Like, just unbelievable talent.
Yeah. So with Burks, he ended up being wide receiver 8 for me.
Okay.
Size, smaller receiver. Like, he's thick, but He's small.
Yeah.
I think some of his drops also, he's terrible at the contested catch. I think it's just at that size, you're not going to be good at the contested catch, but
nor should
the
you.
hands were inconsistent.
Yeah.
I put his yak ability, like he's more, hey, I'm going to run by you than, make you
He's good vision.
miss or whatever. Exact good vision. But I also put a third of his tackles came against Fresno State, or a third of his missed tackles came against Fresno State.
It's key to know those things.
Yeah, but route running, I think there are ball skills there. Just need to see some consistency with it. And fun fact, super fast.
Yeah. Big fan of him.
So my number. Oh,
who's your 4?
It's Travis Hunter.
Nice. Okay, he's not too far off.
Yeah, like I have a feeling I'm gonna really like him as a corner.
Yeah,
based on just what I've seen thus far from the wide receiver. Like this guy's got ball skills. We were just talking about ball skills. This guy's got ball skills,
dude. Like, doesn't he have like a 1% drop rate, and then he has like a 67% contested catch rate, something like that?
So 0% drop rate.
There we go, 0.
6.3, 63.6 contested catch rate.
Okay, that was like 66.3.
But I mean, let's round up.
Nuts.
But dude, like he is elite when attacking the football. Like, and it's the hand-eye coordination, it's the late hands, so he doesn't like kind of like give away where he's going to the defender. It's just he has a basketball background. Doesn't surprise me. He attacks it like he's attacking a rebound. Right. It's just really good. The ball skills are great. He's switched up. I don't think he's like long speed fast, like not elite long speed, but I think he's like super twitched up and very smooth and very good short area quicks. Gojo agrees. He's busting out my door. With him, I'm assuming watching the fourth quarter is going to be very similar to like, okay, I'm going to let Gojo in.
All right. Well, I'll say this about him as a DB. The ball skills did not show up the same way you'd really hope for.
Oh.
And that's what sucks, because him in contested catch situations, especially versus guys like Tetero McMillan, almost a non-factor.
Guys that are huge.
It was just almost a non-factor, which I'm like, dude, you have the athleticism, you have the ball skills, like go for it, dude. Like you've proven it. Like go for it.
So what I was saying is I think this is going to be a consistent when I go to his corner film that like he's noticeably gassed in the fourth. Just because when you're playing 120 snaps a game, it's kind of ludicrous. Yeah. But I still thought like when you take that into consideration, it's like, wow. Like I can't believe he's still playing, at least competing at this high of a level.
Right.
It's like even him in the fourth is better than like 80% of like receivers in college football. He's just that good. My only cons with him, play strength, he's wiry. Maybe he's put on a little bit. Yeah. I mean, he's got the room to put on more mass, so I'm not too worried about that. I put route tree just because Colorado isn't having him do anything special.
Right.
It's like slants, screens, and goes, and then sprinkle a little bit of in and out routes from there, but it's nothing special.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, so that and like it'll be interesting to talk about what position he's going to end up playing in the NFL. It's like, is he going to play corner? Is he going to be corner? Because at least from what I've seen, it looks like a lot of people have him as a higher rated corner than receiver. Like currently I have him kind of as like a fringe top 20 receiver. But like maybe he'll want to play receiver in the NFL just because it's a higher paying position. So
it's true.
It's gonna be one of the most fascinating like discussions this draft season.
Oh yeah, no, it's unique to be able to have that discussion because he plays like pretty damn well at both positions. He's my wide receiver 8. Okay. I ended up noting. So one thing I don't like is how he never runs a really sharp route. He just loves to bend all of his cuts. Like I don't appreciate that. Especially,
I mean, you ask a man to run 30 screen or slants in a game.
Yeah, the guy's just. I mean, when you look at guys like
Jaden, tell him to go from going 45 to straight like 90 or whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
90 would it be 90?
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, it's like on slants and such too. I thought that he just didn't. He kind of just dips into it And like you can maintain momentum that way, sure, but there's no route fake, I would say. I didn't see enough fakes to his route to get me excited. But it's not bad. It's not like I graded him poorly there. It's just, there's guys who know how to flip their hips and gain that acceleration out of their cut that, you're not telegraphing the defender exactly what you're doing. Same thing with ins and outs routes. Like I thought those were just really rounded. Like you're not doing anything to scare a defender that you're going on a go ball. So no route manipulation or route deception. But I said he is the best stop route runner I've ever seen. Like in terms of curls, compact, like I've never seen a guy hit the brakes that fast.
Dude, he's a nutty athlete. That's why he's probably going to be a good corner.
Yeah, he can change
or a great corner.
So that's why I also am like, dude, you can drop your hips and stop on a dime. Why are you not doing that on ins and out routes? So I have a lot more faith in his potential there. And
I think it's probably just because of like
the wear and tear.
Not even the wear and tear. It's like there's only so much you can do in practice at both positions. Like,
well, I'm also wondering if it's a timing thing because they know the offensive line is going to be ass. It's like if you drop and you slow down and then you cut.
To be fair, also like the first half of the season, Colorado's way different than the second half of the season.
Yeah,
after Sean Lewis was removed from play calling duties, which I thought was stupid. Like it got really vanilla and really terrible in the second half of the season.
I saw that. And that's probably why that's why they kept losing, dude. like you see the success early on and then the failures after. So yeah, he's my wide receiver 8. And, again, elite hands, not really polished as a release guy. But again, we're talking about someone who's taking a lot of time to develop 2 different positions. You probably don't have full practices developing your footwork as a wide receiver. And if you don't trust the offensive line either, maybe they're just like, go. So there's a chance that's true. But that is your wide receiver 4?
Yep, that's the last receiver I have first round grade on.
Okay.
I only had 4.
So while you do that, while you get Let Gojo back in, my number 5 guy is Ricky White, UNLV wide receiver. So he is I have comps for very few players. And I know you have your headset on so you can hear this.
I hear it.
I have comps for very few players. For Ricky, I have him as mini Marvin Harrison.
Holy crap.
Not as good, but
that's a hell of a...
I felt like I was watching like a shittier version of Marvin Harrison Jr. And it was awesome.
What an adjective to use.
Like literally, I call him mini Marv in my notes. It's just like I felt it. It's just intangible. Like super fluid athlete, more explosive than fast, but still really fast.
Polished
as a route runner.
Right.
Yeah, he polished as a route runner. Right after the catchability is there, it's really good. I don't know if he's going to be like known as the guy that you toss a ball to and he's going to make everybody miss and take it to the house, but he has that potential. He gains a ton of separation because he's a great route runner and he's athletic. Hands solid. I think it's like 6.5% drop rate, and we're
5.4.
5.4. Oh, damn. I have that as a 7? Shit. Okay. A good thing to note for talking about the other guys. I just know I did it off percentage for like hands in terms of drops and then micro modified. But smooth release package, nothing obviously jaw dropping, but still really solid. My issues with him were he's not a contested catch guy in my opinion. But more importantly, he gets knocked off his routes with press. That's where he could never live up anywhere close to Marv. And I think that's where Marv set himself apart as a blue chip player. If Marv didn't have the ability to handle press coverage the way that he did, I think that, we'd be talking about Marv in a much lower degree. But that's Ricky White to me.
Yeah, he is wide receiver 10 for me.
Because
I really like some of the other
10 out of 44 is good, dude. I don't think people understand that. When we're talking about like top 10, like
it's good. To me, he's a day 2 player.
Yeah. Like that he right there is at beginning of day 2 for me.
Yeah, dude, UNLV cleaned up when it came to the transfer game. They got Tony Grimes over there now. They got Catalan. Both those guys coming off injuries, and we'll see if they can play. Those are ballers.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, dude, White was a transfer in himself, like Michigan State. But yeah, game breaking speed, ball skills, I thought were pretty good. Like he's not going to overpower, but like he will attack the football. He doesn't just sit and wait for it to come to him. And yeah, dude, I like him a lot. I just said like talked about the route running a little bit, that I felt like he doesn't always sync well when he needs to like come back to the football.
Might be UNLV thing though.
Huh? Yeah, yeah. Because UNLV, they're pretty. I don't want to say simplistic, but I mean it's very much like
it's not a high.
Here are your 4 or 5 routes you're running. So like, yeah, I don't disagree with that. But yeah, the play strength, you're totally correct.
Yeah,
but I like him a lot, man. Dude, his yards per route ran close to 4, which is kind of a ludicrous number.
Crazy.
Which is just saying, hey, big play potential. This guy, vertical speedster, dude. I think he's one of the best vertical speedsters in this class.
I mean, he graded out as tied 3rd best speed. I'm just saying he's more explosive than fast, only because his explosiveness is freaking nutty. He has the best explosiveness in the class by a good margin.
Yeah, he was recorded at multiple times last season running 22 miles per hour.
I have someone who ran 24 that you have
on this list.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it.
I know I have someone that ran 23.
Okay.
Oh, I think I know who it is. Okay, let's keep going.
Who ran 23?
It's me,
who
right?
ran 23?
Huh?
I'm just curious. Who ran 23?
I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head who.
Okay, we'll get to it.
So, like, if I see it in my notes, I'll let you know.
But, okay, because I know someone who ran 20. Well, at least that was like the first line of an article. It's like, oh, I run 24.
So we're at 5, right?
Yes.
So this is where I got Emeka Ibuka.
Really?
Who's my top slot guy. He's just coming off a year where he was hurt.
It's the injuries really sucked.
Yeah,
I gotta admit. I'm hoping that he ends up ascending, but he has a bit of room to climb.
I got a top 50 grade on him. I think he's the top slot only. I think he's just he's less Jackson Smith and Njigba. It's like it kind of feels like if he could have a good full year, maybe he sneaks back into that, like, for me at least, that like first round area. But I do think his ceiling is probably like pick 20 to pick like 25.
I'm curious. Why would you have him as a slot? Because I know that injuries were the reason he kind of sucked, but I think he was at his best when JSN was in the slot and Marv was on the boundary. I felt like he was really solid as a boundary receiver. That's where I hope for him to regain his confidence.
A lot of that was just how much his usage. Like, I don't think like he was used a lot in the slot.
Yeah.
He didn't face a lot of like true press. So like, I mean, he could be, but I think he's just such a savvy route runner. I think you want to take advantage of him, free release. And if things get hairy, he's a guy that knows where to find like the soft spots in zone, like be your quarterback's best friend.
Yep.
And I mean, that's the NFL starting to like, they're recognizing, hey, sometimes we put our best players in the slot. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb, he was like a 70% slot guy last year.
Mm-hmm.
You had Tyreek Hill, half his snaps came in the slot.
Yep.
So like, I think, I mean,
also why nickel is so valuable now.
Exactly.
Exactly. They're going up against the best now. It's not the worst.
But smooth athlete, really good savvy route runner, dependable target, like his 5.3% career drop rate.
Yeah. I think last year was even better though, right? Wasn't it like
but he also played like I guess he played 10 games. That's not bad. But yeah, it was 4.7.
Yeah.
He did good run blocker. That's not a surprise. You know, Ohio State, they do that. Hartline's a really good coach there. I said his long speed. I just don't think he has the ability necessarily to consistently stretch the field vertically. Okay. I think he's more quick than fast.
You and I are flipped on that.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, you and I are flipped.
And I said when he does drop the football, it's usually just looking to run before securing the catch. So we're talking like focus drops, not really a big problem.
I really like his hands. Where do you think I have him?
I thought you really liked him, But you also, I think you had him at 2 last year, right?
I did.
Yeah. Because I think that's where we differed. I had Malik at 2. You had
Emeka.
2, and then we like flipped that.
Yeah, because I had the 2 Ohio State guys at the top.
Yes.
Just like I did back in Olave and Wilson. I was like,
oh, dude, that was such a good class.
I loved Garrett Wilson, man. That guy was my wide receiver 1 by a good margin.
That was my wide receiver 1 by a mile too.
Oh.
I was like, dude, I'd be willing to take him in the top freaking 3.
Yeah. And his grade, I think, was I don't even know. Well, we can talk about that in a little bit. Like, I don't know where I had him. Was he 2022? He was, wasn't he?
Who was 2023? Who was the 2023?
No, it was 2022. I don't remember 23. I think was.
Give me a quarterback. Who was 2023?
Was 23 the Quentin Johnston one? Yeah, because we're now in. It was Quentin Johnston.
The wide receiver class people don't really like. Yeah, that one wasn't that. Like, at least at the beginning, at the top half.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Garrett Wilson was 80.25. I don't think I had anybody. Oh, I had Evan Neal. Lamau.
Oh, yes. Let's stop.
Tyler Linderbaum.
Now I'm depressed.
Yeah, Evan Neal, Tyler Linderbaum, Hutch, and Karloftis. I'm just looking at the guys who I had graded above him. Nico, RIP.
Oh, I had him at 9.
Sauce. And then Pittry and Hamilton. So he would have been like around 9 or 10 for me.
Yeah, I had him at 9.
He was number 9. Yeah, there you go.
Because I fell into the whole, I really like these tackles.
Yeah.
And now it's like a total big question mark for all of them coming into year 3.
Don't remind me.
I mean, to be fair, it's all of them. Like Charles Cross injuries, Ken McGuanu, he's coming off after a good rookie year. He's had a sophomore slump.
Yep.
Evan Neal. That's all I need to say. Mic drop.
It's the proof that you can't switch a left tackle to right in the NFL. And
I don't think that's
guarantee it.
I don't think that's what it's saying.
Tristan
Wirfs' contract says otherwise.
Tristan Wirfs is awesome.
He's amazing. He deserved more money.
Yeah.
Are we still on wide receiver 5?
I did my wide receiver 5. I think we might have the same 6.
Okay. My 6 is Elik Iomanor.
Oh, never mind. I forgot to talk about my part of Emeka. Emeka is my wide receiver 23.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Bottom line, took a massive step back. I know injuries played a big part in that, but I also just didn't see him thrive in the slot. Reliable hands, really smooth when it came to those 45-degree cuts. And, where I really saw his deep speed flash was actually more on crossing routes than anything. I thought he built up speed really well, but I didn't really see the acceleration, especially the explosiveness out of cuts. And yes, that may be partially due to injury, but the fact is, over the entire year, I didn't see it, and I wanted to. I saw in the first 2 drives of Michigan a first-round player. The rest of the game, I did not. I saw a UDFA type of guy. And for me, I love seeing the fact that it's there, and I think he can come back. And this is somebody who I think will be ascending back to the top 10 for me. So saying it right now, I could totally see health being the reason he ascends. Because you know me, I don't really do projection as much. Like the player I saw was like a 4th rounder for me, because I do see the potential, and I just need him to be healthy. But I think he's a boundary receiver. I think that his skill set might work better though as a slot, but I've only seen the production really thrive when he was on that boundary. So I'm kind of hoping that health and or situation change can get him back to the guy who I had as my number 2.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a heavy TBD, but that's why I have him in there.
Okay. I mean, again, we got a whole season. This is just kind of like to
give us
names to watch.
Eumanor is a beast, but
Iomanor.
Was it Eumanor?
Iomanor.
Seriously, a Eumanor sounds so badass though. It sounds like a Luminor, like freaking Jermaine.
That's the pronunciation I got, and I've heard multiple times. So
okay, well, Iomanor.
Yeah. He's strong like ox at 6'2", 210.
Yeah, he's physical.
Yeah, he's physical, man. He has that like studded catch on Travis Hunter where he just like get out my way, little boy.
More proof that I'm worried about Travis in terms of contested catch. Why I'm baffled.
Okay, wasn't that was like well into the fourth quarter, or I think maybe even overtime.
Dude, he got toasted the whole game though. I mean,
Yeah,
Travis led up like 190 yards or something that game. Like, it was kind of crazy.
So I like his release package. He just knows what he's doing during the route. Like I thought consistently had a step on defenders like at like his breaks.
Okay.
I mean, part of that could be just like, oh, he big, so big catch radius, knows how to shield from defenders. So yeah.
Well, Stanford's always had those dudes who know how to get proper positioning. Like you're thinking about JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Like
stop. Like, why is that the name you bring up? I don't want to.
Because that was like the prime time guy for boxing a dude out and having good position. The problem is he didn't have anything else that was an asset.
You're not wrong.
Is it Ager Manor?
I.O. Manor.
I.O. Manor.
So really good run blocker. Like I think he plays physical. And he's he's actually going to move guys, which is kind of weird. Not weird, but unusual to see from wide receivers. I thought he does a good job covering a lot of ground in a short period of time. And it's important to note, I guess, like he was coming off, like he redshirted last year because of a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus. And he played the early part of this year with a brace. And you could tell, I'm not saying this guy's got elite speed. He doesn't. But he does have a hell of a track background.
He's a burner.
And you could tell he was a lot more explosive and fast by the end of the season.
Yes.
Yeah. Drops. Like there were a few focus drops, but also someone, if he wasn't making the highlight catch, he would sometimes like to let the ball hit him in the chest. So
it's fair. It's fair criticism.
Kind of is what it is. What up, wasted talent, my brother? Just wanted to give a little shout out to my boy.
So I had Alec at 15.
Okay.
For me, what I saw was he does have that deep speed. I do like that burning mentality that he has.
Yeah, like I said, radically like different. Like he went from possession receiver to like, oh no,
like a legit deep play.
I might be the complete package.
Right. Something I loved was how quickly he could hit the brakes. Similar to stop route. I did like that about him. I thought that when it comes to those slants, post corners, I thought it was actually pretty lacking. But he was never supposed to be the route running type necessarily. Like
exactly.
you can tell. But there was this one beautiful play. I don't know if you saw it. It was actually he went for a post route and then he did a post stop. And it was just one of the most beautiful things because you could tell everybody, like, he projected, I'm going that post. I'm going all the way deep. And then out of nowhere, super suddenly, he just stops perfectly and the ball's right on him. So shout out to the quarterback. They actually did a good job that time.
What was do you know the game?
TBD, hold up. I'm trying to look back on it, but let me go find it.
I always try in my like evals and notes to kind of like reference like, this was a really good example of what.
Well, I'm like trying to go back to it. Whereas I ended up having it. Man, there we go. Arizona.
Okay.
Dude, I mean, like you're going, and that's a primetime game. I watched every Pac-12 receiver or any team that faced Arizona. I made sure to watch them versus Arizona. If the tape was there, that's the game I wanted to watch.
Side note, I think those tall corners at Arizona,
monsters.
They're monsters. I'm kind of curious how they are when it comes to like coming back to the football, like comeback routes or.
So I studied them
pretty in general.
I think Prysock's better at that than Tecario. Tecario has a tough time changing directions, but he processes better.
I was gonna say I looked at like Tecario's just like length and like height, and I was like, is this guy just gonna be Reek Wolin when I watch him?
He could, but I think Reek has a higher top speed. And
that's kind of nuts because
Reek, it was a 4.2.
Yeah,
Reek's definitely gonna have a higher top speed.
I thought you said the other way around. I'm sorry. I was like, what?
What? No, I think Tecario might be like 4.48, 4.52, like that.
I mean, hey, you're 6'4".
I think it's adequate, dude. It's actually quite solid. But his change of direction definitely leaves you wanting. But the thing about Tecario is he processes a little faster than Ephesians, Price Hawk. And so Ephesians will get there sooner because he can change directions faster. But if Tecario processes fast enough and the quarterback takes too long to throw it, that's why Tecario has the crazy production. I think it's because the receiver will be open for a fraction of a second, but that quarterback doesn't get it to there in time.
Okay.
So it's what I worry about in the NFL. I do think that he might end up becoming a safety if all else fails, and I think it'll be a freaking phenomenal safety.
I love how now we're talking about the corners.
I love corner. It's my favorite position. My bad.
I won't get there until Monday, so
my bad. Okay.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm so excited to watch. Like, I save corners specifically for last just because I love the corner position.
Well, I always start out with wide receiver and corner because it gives me momentum.
You spoil yourself.
I do, but like
show some restraint.
If I end up choosing the worst positions, I just know I'm gonna burn the hell out right away. I'm just like, when it comes to watching players, like, dude, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it gets me excited for the class because I've already found players that I love. And it's like, then it's like, if all these other guys suck, I still have guys I love. And I still had a good time already with the class. That's just me. That's my way of keeping myself into the class. Some people just do it like you. You like to look at the light at the end of the tunnel. For me, I'm like, I already saw the light when I came into the tunnel, man. I know it's at the end.
I need that hot dog on a stick, dude, to keep it going.
Like a little donut at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, I love that. My number 6 guy was Jalen Royals, Utah State.
I freaking love Royals, dude.
He's so freaking good.
But he's not a I have so many questions because what I saw and some of the stuff that I saw that like I'll talk about him in a minute. Like,
yeah,
I'll let you go.
He's not going to be the elite route runner. Yeah, he's not an elite route runner. He's not an elite separator. But dude, get the ball in this guy's hands. He's making you miss. He's running arguably through you. He's definitely dragging your ass. And I mean, he's just explosive. And talk about contested catch. What was his contested catch rate? It was over 60%.
73.9.
73. What the hell? Like, he goes like, what? It was nuts. Like, nuts. And obviously,
this is against what, Mountain West competition though?
Right. So I made sure to watch what was the first game they played against? I'm tripping. Iowa. Like, that's the only NFL DBC faced, and he still did a phenomenal
job. Did.
And dude, the first play, you will instantly recognize him. Don't even look at the numbers because he's the most feisty blocker on the field. Might not be the most efficient, the feistiest that they got, and I just loved it. I loved it. So. I think that he has a lot more show than tell. And to me, because there's so much good to his game, I like the fact that he's at least trying. Because once he goes to, in my opinion, a better program, like in the NFL,
I
think he'll.
Okay,
evolve.
I was like,
I think he'll evolve
coming out this year.
No, I'm saying like I think he'll evolve when he goes to proper coaching. So yeah. I love it. I love it.
Nice. I have him at wide receiver. I think wide receiver 9.
Oh, okay. I knew he was in your top 10. I was like, dude, you're never gonna guess my number 7 though. But what's your 6?
We'll get there.
Dude, I'm just so excited for 7 because you're gonna get pissed.
Yeah. So I was curious because I was like, this guy's listed at 6 foot.
Okay.
I don't know if he's 6 foot. I have a feeling he's not.
He's kind of short.
But then he plays like he's 6'5" at the contested catch. I was like,
nuts.
Maybe like then again last year I thought Chris Braswell had fine length and then ends up sub 33-inch arms. I'm like,
I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not good at just eyeballing size and height.
Right.
Lord knows. But another thing, I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like I don't know if he's got like elite speed. But like he's definitely a smooth mover. I got like a Puka Nakua feel where I'm like, I'm not sure if he's like fast, you know? And then
I can see that. Yeah. He graded out as like a solid athlete, but nothing special.
But if you go like into his like background, so he ended up going to Georgia Military College to start out because he was a 0-star recruit.
Yeah.
And he flies out for a 1-day tryout with Utah State. During that tryout, he ran a 4.30 40.
I do not see that on tape.
And did a 130-inch broad jump. So maybe he's just a great athlete. Maybe it's just like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't feel like he was like that top level of athlete.
I know. I had him as a good athlete, not like an elite.
Yeah, exactly. But then you look at like the separation numbers, he's like in the 92nd percentile.
That's what's nuts to me. I didn't see that versus Iowa specifically. It could have been because of Mountain West, in my opinion.
It could have also been the quarterback play resulted in a lot of him having to adjust a pass. Regardless,
the stats are great.
The dude's contact balance, like, I'm not going to call him strong, but he knows how to keep his feet under him.
It's awesome. I like fights.
I don't think he's strong ball carrier, but I think he's like, he absorbs contact well. Like he really, like 40% of his yards came after the catch this year. I thought he was actually a pretty quality like route runner. Like again, that's where like the smoothness. Like I just think I thought he was just real smooth, but apparently he has this like tear you over, like can tear the top off of a defense type of speed.
I did not see that, but power to him.
But then again, he was free on some routes last year that he had to stop and come back to the football.
The quarterback play was not there.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was like a Georgia State or an Air Force. It was a blue school. Okay. I just know it was a blue school that they were facing. And he had to come back, and then he just like mossed two guys. Just was like, oh, I'm taking this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. Yeah. He's going to have to prove it again this year because he was a breakout guy. Prior to this season, he had only 7 catches in his career. And you're doing this at a lesser competition, lower competition. Yeah. Being group of 5. So he's also going to have to prove it in the offseason draft process, whether that's a Shrine or a Senior Bowl. But I felt good enough about being like, this dude's a sleeper.
Yeah, big time. Who's your 7? Because I want to. You just won't guess mine.
My 7 is.
Your 6 was Umanor, right? Or was that 5?
That was my.
Or, sorry, Io Manor. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, so Io Manor was 6.
Okay.
Torrey Horton is my 7.
Go. Okay.
Yeah, Torrey Horton was really good. He should have came out last year.
He should have.
But I mean, I feel like he's like an easy top 75 player. Like if you're gonna like the gripes I have with him is like he keeps getting thinner and thinner. Like now, like he played at like 195 last year with plenty of room to put mass on his frame. Now he's listed at 185, and it's like, what the hell, dude? He's
listed at 185. I haven't 190, but I mean,
185. That's what Colorado State listed him at.
Damn. So, thanks PFF for screwing.
Oh yeah, I just go to the.
I started doing that, but then I heard Trev Sycamore starting to talk about how
Sengi.
He ends up like he's the one who's sourcing it, and it's pretty much just like a back end software to pull it out of the team specific websites.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was gonna say sometimes like,
because I'm at 190, but
I mean, okay, we're talking about 5-pound difference.
I know. No, I'm just saying it because of the fact that like now it irritates me because I was only going to the website.
He is somewhere between 185 and 195.
He is not as large as he was.
Yes. Also, I think his like for being a taller guy, I just don't think he sinks well, like route running wise.
Yes.
But like I think still the route run is good. Like he knows how to attack with like leverage and how to create a window for his quarterback, even in tight coverage. Had a lot of highlight reel catches last year.
Yeah.
Like there was that one where like it was literally looked like it was thrown like 3 or 4 yards out of bounds and he just snags it while just tight roping his feet. Freaking unbelievable. Strong hands, 4% drop rate last year. Top of that 57.1 on the contested catch. That's a good number.
Yep.
We got the physicality, 36 forced missed tackles over the last 2 years. What?
No.
That's freaking nuts.
Nuts.
Yeah. This was the guy that was listed at going 23 miles per hour.
No way. Seriously?
Yeah, he is a long strider because he's got those long limbs. I did not
see that.
He is a long strider.
I did not see that on tape. Interesting.
Yeah, that's why it's like when he's running like more short routes, short and maybe somewhat intermediate.
Yeah.
That's where the separation's lacking.
Yeah.
But if you get him to like 15 yards downfield and where it's like he comes out of a break and he could really just start using those long legs to like create separation.
Damn. Okay. Well, I'm excited to see the testing numbers on that then, because in the games that I saw, he just didn't really go downfield very far, apart from on like certain developing routes.
Yeah.
And like even then, I think it was more like maybe he must have just capped his speed, because I thought that was like probably his second worst trait was like just normal play speed.
See, that's what I initially thought. But like I don't want to say he's radically, he's just different when like he's coming out of a break and he has room to work with.
Interesting.
It's just like everything around like the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Or maybe if it's like a more complex route, like,
yeah,
I don't want to, it's not clunky, but it's not like it's not smooth.
Right.
You know, it's like, I'm not going to call this guy a savvy route runner or anything, but.
Well, I'll say this. Good. I like his like 45-degree routes, like the slants, the posts, all that stuff. He's the worst. He's the exact opposite of Travis Hunter. He's the worst curl like / hitch runner I've ever seen. Like the most piss poor runner I've ever seen of that. I'm like, dude, you have it in you. Like I can see it on all these other routes.
You get to 6'3", 6'4", and it's like, yeah, that's just too far to sit down.
Dude, I know, but it's just like, it's still something you got to factor in. He still got great at fairly. And I'm like,
absolutely.
It bothered me because I'm like, dude, with the ball in his hands, a line of my scouting report said ankles fear this man. I mean, like every single time he's like making one dude miss and plowing into another and driving the extra yards. I'm like, oh my God. So he was my wide receiver 18, but it's primarily because of the perceived lack of athleticism, which apparently, testing wise, it's there.
Long speed. It's long speed. Long speed's different. That's like a different aspect of athleticism.
But I liked his explosiveness because of in short range, he could get those small windows like you were talking about.
Yeah.
And then also in open space. I mean, you just see him go to work. But it was just really those curls and hitches that got me. Really did. So, I mean, he's a great receiver. Instantly, if he ends up being that fast, dude, holy Toledo. I mean, he's ascending into my top 10 easy.
Yeah. So who's this guy that you're?
Guess how many catches he had last year and how many yards?
Is it Evan Stewart?
Huh?
Is it Evan Stewart?
No.
Okay.
But the amount of catches that this player had, plus the place that they are at on my board, is the spot where Evan Stewart is.
Oh, that's too much.
Not for plus, but like the first number is the amount of catches. The second number is 7.
Oh, see, I don't put receptions on here. I just put yards.
Let's just say, guess how many yards then?
Is it low?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was he hurt?
No.
No?
Well, I mean, I didn't do enough research into this dude's health because of the fact he just didn't play very much. But he was listed in all the games.
Is it Colby Young?
I love Colby Young. You're close.
I freaking love him too.
He's a monster.
Like out of all the guys I listed as a day 3, like he's the one I'm like, if he ends up in the first round, I will not be shocked.
I think I said that on his report, so I do agree. It's Antonio Gates Jr.
Antonio, what?
3 catches, 30 yards. Michigan State. All year.
Yeah, I don't even have this guy on my board.
Yeah. He had the most reps in the entire year versus Michigan. Talk about projection. But
yeah, I was gonna say this is as pure as projection can get.
This is a love affair for me, so to speak.
This is hey, I liked your daddy.
Yeah, no, but this is based on the tape, the very limited tape, but he is by far the most surprising study I've ever had. I was just like, screw it. I'll just toss him in there. I've done like 55 guys. Like, let's do it. Unbelievable. So first off, he has, I think, a 2% drop rate, or it's like 2 or 3. Very low.
Miss me with the drop rate when you're talking about a guy with 3 catches.
No, over his career. So,
what's his career catch total? You know what? You talk.
Actually, no, I think he has 0%. And I just put it as a 9 out of 10 because of that fact.
Just keep talking. I'm looking him up. I'm curious.
But he has the second best release package I might have ever seen, which is nuts. I'm talking about versus Will Johnson. This guy is being able to get proper positioning. His hard cut change of direction is just absurd. He hits the brakes, he sinks well, and he's explosive out of his cut. Like, this guy is honestly phenomenal. Like, rock solid. Don't know why he's not getting more reps. I mean, he's 6'2". Was he 6'2", 214, if I'm not mistaken? 194. Oh, that's a big difference. I remember the last number, but 6'2", 194. But this guy is just, I mean,
is he a redshirt sophomore?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So just stupid talented. I don't know why he's not getting more reps. Michigan State, you potentially have had
Mel Tucker for multiple reasons. So
you could have had, Ricky White and Antonio Gates Jr. on the same team, and they both should be starting, and they both could be kicking ass. But you guys suck. But I digress.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he is just like, when I watched him, I was like, this is somebody who is a first round wide receiver that just can't show it. So call me crazy, but just somebody who I'm absurdly high on.
Antonio Gates Jr. I'm just looking for a highlight. Just a highlight. Antonio.
I posted him on my Twitter.
Jr.
It's a highlight. If you're looking for a highlight, you're going to YouTube for somebody who had 3 catches. He had a touchdown.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least it'll give me maybe like college stuff.
I mean, he had 3 catches, so good luck.
Yeah, just give me that Richmond touchdown.
Dude, the Richmond touchdown's legit. I saw that one too.
Oh, is he fast?
Not fast. I'll put it that
fast.
He's athletic.
I was gonna say he looked smooth on this 45.
He's smooth, dude.
Yeah, it was a 45-yard touchdown pass. Granted, against Richmond, but it was smooth.
Right.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes peeled for him. I'm not gonna add him or anything because
with this no production at all. But
yeah.
But no, I'm trying to find my thing.
Definitely noted.
Dude, oh my god. Hold on. I'm sending this to you on Discord. I'm just sending you the clip so you could just take a peek at it. It's on just nutty, dude. He sinks his hips and just so phenomenal.
On a side note, we have covered all of my top 10 wide receivers.
Oh, nice.
So I'd be on 11.
Okay, so quick question. Just quickly run from 6 to 10, because I'm just trying to remember the order.
I got Iowa Manor at 6, Horton at 7, nice. Burks at 8, Royals at 9, and then White at 10.
Gotcha. So
a lot of Mountain West in there.
Oh yeah, my number 10 is Colby Young.
I thought about putting him higher.
Dude, he's so fun. Talk about smooth in terms of those 45-degree cuts. The majority of this class does actually a really good job of those simple slant routes. I mean, it's just timing. They do really good on the timing routes. Not going to be someone who's going to be breaking your ankles, but somebody who probably will give you a little bit of trouble.
Oh, that was a nifty little diamond release where he just
you're talking about Antonio Gates?
Yeah, that was nifty.
Is that not crazy? That's actual Michigan DBs giving up. That's a solid 2 yards of separation, dude. And that was every rep. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and I mean, because immediately, because Johnson went to go protect the outside.
Yeah.
And you get enough of those?
Well, I don't think that's not Johnson. That's in that rep.
Oh, that's not Johnson? Okay.
No. That was number, is at 16?
Is it
36.
Wallace?
36. It might have been.
I mean, regardless, you do that enough times, then you're going to hit them with that vertical.
Dude, it was just insane, dude. Just watching that guy's footwork. I mean, it's, again, to me, it's like a Tali Fawaga thing where it's there's no reason he should be this high for me. But I'm hoping that's the Tali Fawaga thing. It could just be me being an absolute nut job, but that's what makes me excited for the season.
Here.
Okay, I was looking at the wrong stats. Colby Young.
You talk about him.
Not an elite route runner, but someone who he's not bad. He's just not going to be a primary route runner. He can definitely punish you a little bit after the catch. I do like that about him. He generates separation because of his physicality. That's what I do love. But most importantly, he generates separation by being in the right position. He just knows the position battle, and it's perfect. Reliable hands. I'm pretty sure it's sub 5% drop rate. Release package, honestly, because of the fact he knows how to get into good position, you just already know he's going to have really solid footwork, really solid upper body mechanics. So that is of that, mid-upper tier echelon. Speed-wise, he's not going to be your deep threat, but he's someone who still could push down the field. He just takes a little while to get there. He's
so long. He's got that long stride.
Yeah, he's a super long strider. But the fact is, he knows how to defeat press coverage because he's physical and he knows how to position himself, which is awesome, leading to an extremely high contested catch percentage. It's slipping my mind the actual figure.
Oh, don't worry, I got you 66.7.
There you go. That was the 67% figure I was looking for earlier. Was it Royals? Royals had the 73.
Yeah.
It was who the hell had the other one that I was talking about? Travis Hunter had the 63.7 or 60.3.6.
Yeah. He had the good one too.
So Colby was like, fantastic. And then a really reliable blocker too. And at his frame, I respect it, dude. 6'3", 215. So that's what I was thinking of when I was talking about Antonio Gates. But that's an X-build receiver transferring to Georgia. Now Ra Thomas is gone. This is Ra / Rosemead Jack Saints role. And that's a pretty high volume role. So I think this is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, he looks like a grown man out there.
Yeah.
And he plays every bit as nasty.
Yeah.
After the catch, because he had a lot of screens because, Miami. And but dude, he was so tough to bring down and
physical, man.
He's got legit ball carrier vision.
He does.
So
I don't know if he's going to make that miss, but
he's my guy that I'm if he ends up in the first round, not shocked whatsoever. So
I'm curious.
He was on a side note, just give a little background with him. Because he did kind of come from nowhere. He was a 0-star recruit, and a lot of that had to do with his academic eligibility.
Right.
And he ends up actually taking a gap year to get more time with his recruiting process. But since he couldn't wasn't able to be academically eligible, he ends up going the community college route. Okay. And he goes to Lackawanna.
Lackawanna.
That appeared actually a couple of times last year too.
Yeah, why do I hear Lackawanna? What
it's that and Fork Union are the ones that come out of because Fork Union had and Georgia Military Academy.
Yeah. Why do I hear Lackawanna County? What's there?
I don't know, but they had a guy last year that tested really well.
Huh. Okay.
But then he ends up becoming a 3-star JUCO because again, the only reason he wasn't a high star prospect was because of his academic eligibility, and he was that was the first thing that he wanted to get in check after essentially his recruiting process just kind of fizzled out. He was like, okay, I gotta take this crap more serious. Right. Had 1 year with Miami, or 2 years, excuse me. Last year was kind of a breakout year for him. Now he's headed to Georgia. It's gonna be freaking nuts.
It's gonna be crazy. I'm sorry. I just keep watching Antonio Gates Jr. The clip just keeps rolling.
Just that one dude.
I'm just I'm damn. I just love it. I love it. But yeah, dude. So what I was going to say, if we're looking at the highest overall, he is my 6th wide receiver in the class if he goes to his perfect role.
Yeah, I am curious. I think he'll probably be. I couldn't find an age on him, but I bet you he's going to be 24, before or very soon after. Yeah, the NFL season, at his rookie season. I should put it that way.
Yeah.
My number 11 is Elijah Badger, out of Florida, formerly of Arizona State.
He's a rack machine, dude.
Yes, because Arizona State, screen, slant, occasional go ball.
Yeah.
Which sucks, dude. This man could have had so much more after the catch on some downfield throws, but he's out here having to make highlight reel catches or catches away from his body when he's got 5 yards of separation, having to leave the freaking ground to make a catch, and then he gets tackled because freaking quarterback can't put it anywhere.
Right.
To be fair, actually, one of his passes came from. Well, I imagine a few of them came from Scatterbo. Was it Scatterbo?
I think
running
so.
back.
Yeah.
Who he did everything on that team last year.
I love hearing the announcers say his name.
Yeah, right. But like, I think he had an underthrow, which it's like, yeah, he's not a quarterback, but
right.
Dude, yeah, Badger's nice, man. Yeah, keen, fluid, legitimately like is a ball carrier after the catch. 51 forced missed tackles the last 2 years.
Right.
I think he's a very smooth athlete, but he's more build up speed than actual like top speed. Really good ball skills. 3% drop rate last year. The contested catches, he wasn't put in good situations, like, and it was too many jump ball situations. I think we might get a fairer assessment this year with Graham Mertz, who is low key like reviving his career.
Dude, I'm so excited that he transferred to Florida.
Dude, last year he was good.
Yeah. He was my other mistake on my graphics. I ended up putting ASU, and while I was talking about video, I'm like, this guy's at Florida. I don't know what the hell I was doing.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But versatility, a guy that can play, I think, both inside and out. Also, he gives you the jet sweep and end around type of like, he's just fun as hell. Yeah. Route tree, again, he was running what the offense was doing. And I expect that sucker to get expanded this year.
Yeah.
Route running sometimes can be a little rounded in his breaks on more complex routes. To be fair, he wasn't asked to do a lot of complex stuff. Yeah. Also, a lot of free releases, but he was a guy that like they were putting in the slot or they were putting him in motion. He was their go-to. He was money. Right. But freaking love Badger. I really do. I'm so happy that he went to Florida. Like,
I think he's going to be much better at Florida. I'll say this. I gave him the second highest run after the catch grade in the entire class. That's
first.
First was Horton.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's too fair.
Ankles fair.
I think that could go either or.
Yeah, I mean, ankle. They're the top two. I did have Elijah Badger as wide receiver 53 because of how role specific he was. And
I don't think he's role specific. I think
just didn't like
he was handicapped by. Granted, it's a new coach. It was a new coaching staff. I think the last year or two.
Well, Jalen Conyers also sucked at ASU because
he didn't suck the year before that. They just like last year they just suck because the system wasn't good. It's a total rebuild.
Yeah. But reliable hands, great after the catch. I did not like him as a route runner, but again, doesn't really have opportunities to show that. So it's you could look at it as me not liking him or opportunity for him to grow at Florida. I think going to Florida was the best decision he made. The best decision he probably could have made. So great on him for doing that. Didn't see any form of separation because of the fact that, I mean, I'm sure it's not a place where
how much separation can you get on a screen?
Exactly. His release package not there because he's running screens.
Oh, dude, listen to this. 68% of his targets came on passes of 9 yards or less.
Yep.
Like 9 yards in the air or less. His average depth of target on passes of 9 yards or less is negative like 0.5.
Yep.
It's like insane. Even when he was targeted in the quick passing game, it was behind the freaking line of scrimmage.
It was BS, dude. It was BS. I know. But I didn't see the explosiveness really. I thought his change of direction was honestly much worse than what I expected for how efficient he was after the catch. I thought he was just a little bit more stiff, but his vision unbelievable. He could process the field perfectly.
He's not like,
I didn't see that.
Human joystick, but
I mean, I feel bad for the guy. He gets hit so many times because of the fact that he's just catching the ball and he's just getting hit. So it's a huge TBD. I could easily see him ramping up the boards because he has two elite traits. He has great hands. Again, to be fair, asterisk, he's catching the ball half a yard behind the line of scrimmage on average if he's not being targeted deep. But, reliable hands statistically, and then he's unbelievable after the catch. Other things can easily work in there, and then he could ascend. But he is much higher graded in terms of role specific.
Yeah, I have late or early day 3.
I saw that. That's why I ended up putting him on my list.
Yeah,
I peeked at your board. I was like,
yeah. Oh, I put him 3rd. My bad. He's probably at the back end of like top 100.
Yeah. I mean, I think he could easily get there.
I see after the catch, dude. And I'm just like, oh.
I mean, I get excited for that. I just really wanted it to be more well-rounded, but again, you're just in such a crappy situation.
It's a very crappy
It's
situation.
an awful situation.
And I mean, you get to go to a system that Ricky Pearsall just was a first-round receiver out of. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah. And then, well, speaking of ASU to Florida.
Yeah,
Ricky.
in general.
Yeah, like nobody to first-round pick. But I digress. My number 11 receiver is Andrew Armstrong, the guy you talked about.
Did I?
Dissing.
Oh, I was like, did I talk about him?
No, just honestly, if I'm gonna be blunt, he is actually looking at like bar for bar, band for band type of thing. He's a worse version of Ricky White. Like, I'm just looking at it right now. His hands are a bit more reliable than Ricky's, but in his release package is less defined. But pretty much
reliable at the contested catch.
Yes. Hold up a sec. Yes, they're both relatively unreliable at contested catch.
I'm gonna pull this guy up
because I'm really looking at it. He's a little bit better versus press coverage. Like I'm literally highlighting both lines and comparing line for line.
I mean, let's be fair. Arkansas is very much with
he was a screen
Jefferson. It was like a screen slant offense,
right? It was very similar.
It was an RPO heavy offense.
Right. So these are the grades. So for hard cut, they both graded roughly the same. Same thing with 45-degree change of direction. Run after the catchability, again, within half a point of each other. Separation, I thought Ricky did a better job overall, which, I mean, I need to see a little bit more for that, but I think it's because of how many, like the fact that Andrew was going up against Alabama corners versus Iowa more than anything, but TBD on that. Hands, Andrew's significantly better. Very solid catch rate. He has an 8.5 for hands for me, which is pretty huge.
How is he as an athlete? Are we looking at like who was that Arkansas guy that came out a couple of years ago?
Traylon?
No, not Traylon. The one that ended up being a UDFA, but he kind of like blew up like the Hula Bowl or something, and then he tested out really well. It was like Landon
Jackson?
Not Landon Jackson. Landers, Matt Landers.
Oh, Matt Landers. Yeah, he's like 4.33. Yeah. No, I don't think he has that top speed, but he's really shifty. I think he'll do well in the 20-yard shuttle or the 20-yard split rather than the 40-yard dash. Okay. So, Ricky has the advantage in both of those categories, but both of them have that more shifty than fast, but still very athletic profile. Both are... Well, Ricky sucks against the press. Andrew's a little bit better, but then both are very unreliable at the catch point and contested catch balls, and both of them are relatively similar in blocking type. So, voila. Cool. I just saw that. I was like, oh, man. Like, just thinking back to my studies on them, it's like they did feel a little bit similar. So, cool stuff.
So, this is 12.
Yep. We might be the same on this one.
Evan Stewart?
No. Oh, no. Do you remember how I told you how to find out Evan Stewart's rank? I said, look at the amount of catches Antonio Gates has, and then the second number is where he was ranked for me. 3 catches at spot 7. Just concatenate them.
Okay. 37? Yeah. No, the dude's total hype at this point.
Yeah.
Hype with limited production. And to be fair, last year it was cut short. But like for me, like I get it. I get why people get excited with him. Like it's understandable. Like the dude's a freaking insane athlete.
Yeah.
And like the yak ability's there. But like he's small, man. He's so thin. He's like what, 170, 175?
Yeah, he's 36. I was 37 when I had Raw Thomas on here.
Oh, I gotcha. So, like, yeah, he needs to put on more weight. And he's young, but he needs to put on more weight. Like, his play strength sucks.
That's why I don't like him after the catch as much.
Yeah, but I mean, he's so good at, like, forcing guys to have to mirror him just because he's so, like, nimble and he's really good at tempoing and just fluctuating that speed during the round and whatnot. And honestly, I would buy into him a little bit more if the ball skills were good.
That's very fair.
Like
was a 9% drop rate or like 9.5.
Yeah, and he had 0 forced missed tackles last year. Granted, he was hurt.
That's my thing. I just didn't think he could force it because of the fact that I thought he was a little bit physically limited in terms of play strength as well, like shedding contact.
Yeah, but I think it's like he has the ability to be like make you miss. Like again, this guy's total projection, man.
Yeah, he's a great slant and post runner though.
Yeah, I mean, he should flourish at Oregon. Like it should be
a blocker for Oregon. Dude, Tez Johnson, by the way, we're gonna get to him. Tez Johnson's a great blocker for his size. The dude's like a stick, but he just fucking decks corners.
He is pound for pound like gritty as hell.
I'm like, what the hell? That's why I was so surprised with Evan Stewart. I'm like, this guy's not the same.
Are you familiar with like Tez's background?
I'm not.
Okay, he came from like a rough upbringing, so it was like, oh yeah, it makes sense that it's like you have that dog in you.
Yeah, that's. I mean, hey, you might if you find it that way, power to you. Hopefully,
it's just that's I'm not gonna. I can't buy into the size with Tez, unfortunately.
He's such a stick. I literally have
not even a stick. He's a small stick.
Yeah, like I think I literally have a tweet that says stick bug turns into a dog. Yes, POV stick bug turns into dog because he just freaking decks. Who is it? One of the Utah DBs. Yeah, he freaking like pops him. It's crazy.
Yeah, this guy's like anywhere between like Tank Dell and like Jakeem Grant.
Which one are you talking about?
Tez.
Tez, like, yeah. Tez is such a baller.
It's just like
that's why I like him more than Evan. He applies his size way better.
Yeah.
But Evan does have some aspects that I do.
Yeah. Like I saw some people like, oh, there's like a Devontae Smith-esque to Evan's game. And I'm like, I could see where you're getting that.
That's what
it's just like it's not there. Yeah.
Even me with Mini Marv, man. Like I'm emphasizing the mini part. Emphasis on mini.
Yeah, but like he's just a huge like. Let's see how it goes with Oregon. I could definitely see him return to school.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, when you transfer to a new system as well, like I highly doubt that it's going to be like a match made in heaven when you have Tez and Evan.
Yeah, but I mean, Tez took it and ran with it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think Tez might come out, and then Evan might want to go into the Tez role where he can become.
I think there's going to be plenty of like opportunity to eat, though.
Where is the big receiver for Oregon right now? I'm trying to remember who's going to actually have some size besides Ferguson.
They still got Holden, right?
Okay.
I mean, I don't know where he is on the depth chart because that guy's been like in trouble, I think.
Rah. That's where you get rah.
I don't think it's the level of rah.
Get rah.
Slapping your family, but
oh my goodness.
Slapping your family and keeping people holding them against their will.
Oh my god. Okay, so wait, who's your 12?
It was Stewart.
It was Evan. Okay. I thought you had him at 12. I don't have your thing pulled up, but mine is Ty Felton.
I freaking like Ty Felton.
Dude, he's fun. He is fun.
If he puts some mass on, which he got the room to, watch out because he's already a hard runner.
He is. I mean, he's not going to be someone who's going to make you pay for trying to tackle him, but I mean, talk about someone who's explosive out of those slant breaks. I honestly think he could work in the slot because of how explosive he is in that regard.
I'm shocked that some people had or most people I think have who's the other guy? Prather ahead of Felton. I was like,
I like Prather. We'll talk about him. I like him.
You know what's funny? I thought Prather was closer to like a Higgins, like Jaden Higgins.
Yeah.
In terms of their use of they're in that tier of like guys that I'm like, oh, I can see why a lot of people like them and
physical.
Why I think they're good, but only one of these guys are going to break out, and I don't know who, so I'm just going to throw them together in this tier.
That's fair. So back to Ty. He has reliable hands. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in that like 6% drop rate.
5.9.
5.9. There you go. But a solid release package, nothing too special. He's explosive. He's quick, or he's like fast, but he's not like burner speed in my opinion. He's adequate versus the press coverage. And I saw him versus guys like Davison Igbinison as well as Denzel Burke, those guys who are actually really, really solid press corners as well. Not going to be a contested catch guy, which sucks because I wish at 6'2" he could have been like that Devontae Smith style where you could just
he's slender.
Yeah, and he's not an elite blocker, but I don't think he's a huge liability.
No,
but explosive, good in short range. Just maybe not going to be the guy after the catch that you're hoping for. But I think if you add some mass,
this was a guy where I put that diamond release. Like I was like, yo, this guy is golly. Like
he has some flashes of.
Yeah, how he
just be more consistent.
How he fakes like the like vertical boundary, goes in for a slant, and he just sets up to where like, oh no, now I'm gonna hit you with that vertical move, and I'm gonna get home if freaking Tua's brother can get me the ball that deep.
Dude, I really like Ty. Great route runner.
Yeah, I like him a lot too.
Where is he on your board?
He's wide receiver 15.
Okay, so I'm like thinking in like ranges. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're close. We're close.
So who's your 12? Or did we just go over your 12?
Oh, we just went over 12. We're at 13.
Okay.
This is where I got the juice.
Oh, so tell me about your analysis of juice, because I have it from 2022, but this past year there's just not enough. But I really did like the limited tape he had.
Yeah, and by limited you mean very limited.
It was like 9 reps versus Bama.
Yeah, right. You really have to go back to his first year or at South Carolina.
Yeah,
where he kind of broke out, was like a second team all SEC.
He's good.
I think he's more explosive than fast. He's someone that's going to tear you up in the quick game and in the intermediate. He can create after the catch. 19 forced missed tackles in 2022. Also a very high character individual, a guy that's basically wasn't recruited highly because of academics. And then he was like, all right, I'm going to put my nose into the books and I'm going to earn my way back. And he did. A guy that came from, Fork Union, went on to James Madison. From there on out, he was like an honor roll guy, which is great. Teammates have nothing but good things to say about him. Really the only like cons I had was the lawn speed and the route running, where it's just like on like deeper routes, I just don't think he uses his hands as well out of his breaks. Some of it could be a little bit rounded, but like he's not a detailed route runner. But after the catch,
that's what I saw last year. Yeah, after the catch, he was the guy. I remember it. He made me drop everybody's run after the catch grade by 1 point because I just realized that there's a different tier to run after the catch. So,
I mean, dude, there was a big reason I picked for week 1. I picked that South Carolina North Carolina game to watch. I wanted to watch him. He gets hurt, and then I discover Xavier Liggett, and I was like, "Who is this? Who is this grown man? Who is this monster?"
I would have put him as like a top 5 player if I just knew his accent earlier on.
Oh my gosh, dude. I love how this guy talks, dude. He is like, it's so hard not to root for the guy.
I know.
Freaking love him, dude.
Okay. My 13 is Tez. I'm rocking.
Okay. Tez is 17 on mine.
Okay. Oh, I thought that because of that size, you might have dropped him more, but solid route runner. I think that the quicks are going to be where he dominates, those quick slants and such. And he's honestly an enforceful blocker for being 160 pounds. So I love the fact that, he still has the dog in him, even though it doesn't necessarily, there's no signs of it until you actually watch him play, if you look at the stats. But solid enough after the catch. James, he's pretty much really solid across the board. There's not really much he sucks at, and that's honestly incredible for someone of that size. I don't think he's going to be a contested catch guy, though. But, hey, at least he has the physicality in the blocking. Shout out to him.
Yeah, I mean, again, my cons with him was, he's size, probably slot only because of it.
Right.
But high character, came up basically he was raised in the streets, so to speak.
Yeah.
And got to a point where his mom was talking with Bo Nix's dad, who was the coach at the high school, and Bo Nix's family didn't legally, but they were like, hey, live with us, and we're gonna help you keep your like nose out of trouble and whatnot. And he was definitely, when you look at like interviews other people have done with him, like he was someone who was like, hey, I've been given this like this second lease, this chance. These people are invested in me, and I'm gonna make the most of that. And he did. And it's not like he ended up being highly recruited. He ended up having to go to Troy while Bo went to Auburn. The minute Bo went to Oregon, he was like, that's my favorite team. I want to be there. I want to be with Bo. Was freaking phenomenal last season.
I love it. Who's your 13?
My 13 it was Antoine Wells, so we're on to 14. And I got Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. So I'm going back to Ole Miss. Honestly, the biggest gripe I have with him is separation. Like, I just don't think he separates that well. I think like his route running is like okay. I think his speed is like okay, but that's fine. He's at least over the course of his career, has been a really good contested catcher. I expect that number to get better. Last year was his first year in the SEC. Prior to that, he was at Louisiana Tech. The play strength's really good. He's a very strong ball carrier. It's hard to bring him down. I think he's someone that could work both inside and out. And I just think he's just good player.
I was typing into ChatGPT to see some information about stuff. But no, I like Trey Harris. He's an interesting athlete to me. I think that he's kind of, in my opinion, he's low-key a dumbed-down version of a Humanor. Or wait, hold on, I got it. Is it Manor?
Io Manor.
Io Manor. Damn it! I knew it was like a different letter than A when you pronounce it. Io Manor. I think he's a dumbed-down version of Io Manor. Good deep speed. He's more explosive, in my opinion, than he's not as much of a long strider. But like, if you kind of dumb down the route running ability and the after the catch ability of Io Manor, and then just transition that to explosiveness, I think you're getting a pretty comparable player. So, he's a good player. He's good. I just don't think he's a very refined route runner.
That's good, yeah.
And he's not going to be someone who's after the catch, but
yeah. I mean, what did he have last year?
He's solid.
He had 10 forced missed tackles on 54 receptions, so it's not bad. That's good.
No, that's not bad. I mean, I'm just saying translatability. I didn't see it necessarily.
That's fair. Who's 14?
Have you studied Matthew Golden?
No.
Oh,
who is that?
Brother, have you studied Sam Brown?
Yes.
Okay, so he's his teammate. Matt Golden's on.
I was like, that sounds familiar, but
my God, dude. I mean, this guy.
He's with the Longhorns now.
Yeah, the speed that Texas is going to have, unbelievable. And Quinn Ewers is like the worst deep ball placement I've ever seen. I mean, like, dude, come on, like you got to put Arch Manning there at this point. But that's a conversation for.
I don't know, man.
I was joking about the Arch Manning thing, but
Ewers is going to be an interesting guy to follow during this thing.
I have never seen somebody consistently miss the deep ball, atrociously. He has some of those that are like perfect, but those are just too few far between. I digress. But Matt Golden, dude, I mean, shifty is all get out. Great after the catch.
So many receivers.
Houston has been. Texas has so many receivers, but Houston, dude, they're just stacked with talent, man. But like this guy burns. Bond got a 9 out of 10 for speed for me. Matt Golden got an 8.75. Like, he is right there with Bond. We're talking about like Legion of Zoom type material.
Legion of Zoom.
Like ridiculous level. But his hands are garbo in terms of percentage drop. I'm pretty sure it's like around 12 or 13%.
13.3.
There we go. So, like not good. And especially given the amount of times he gets to get the ball behind the line of scrimmage. But he's someone who can just take a ball to a house. Take the ball to the house. He can house it easy. And, he's not going to be a contested catch threat, but he does have the frame where it's okay. 6', 195. And he's a burner. Like, it's not we're talking about stick here. Like, this is a guy who genuinely has a build that is very reliable, who has really smooth route running, who can burn deep. And something I really did love about him, you ended up seeing how the play could break down. And to be fair, Donovan Smith is very athletic. You'll see the play break down, and Matt Golden will be adjusting his route based on what is going on with Donovan, because the offensive line wasn't necessarily great. So on plays with a quick pressure where he will run a perfect route, he'll still try to adjust it. And so there's no ego there, because sometimes guys run a perfect route and the play breaks down, they get frustrated. He didn't do that. I really do appreciate that about his game. I think he's phenomenal. I think you're going to love him when you watch him.
Okay. So 15, I had Felton. So I'm going to move to 16. It's where I had Golden's teammate, Sam Brown.
Okay.
Like, Sam Brown's coming in at 6'2", 195 now with the Hurricanes. Yeah, but was with Houston last season. I mean, he's got really good launch speed, like an explosiveness, really good athlete, good yak ability, like
great yak ability.
It's the vision and the freaking elusiveness.
I know.
And I think he's really good in the quick game, really good when it comes to the just the tempo in his routes and whatnot. And I think he plays with that dog in him. Like, I saw a bunch of times where he was used as that like pick man to free up someone else coming across the field. But he is someone that I think needs to add more strength to their frame. Oh, yeah. I got you. And my wife, like, hey, you've been here for a long time.
I was looking at ChatGPT to see how smart it is at this point, and it's getting all these schools wrong. It's so sad.
It is what it is, man.
It's so sad.
It's not Skynet yet.
I know.
But
like University of Georgia. I'm like, seriously.
So I think he's a guy that has that dog in him. He just needs to add more muscle to his frame, because I thought when it came to like more physical receivers, they did tend to like reroute him and like mess up the timing and routes. I didn't think he tracked the ball well downfield. But like, all in all, I came away, I was like, yeah, no, he's a good player, man. And I'm happy the Hurricanes have him.
Yeah.
They have a ton of speed on the outside this year.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I'm super stoked. Sam Brown was my 25th best receiver. But like you're saying, I lied. He has the best run after the catch ability, in my opinion, in the class.
Do you think?
I do. Like, I'm seeing him almost Marshawn Lynch flip guys.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't think the contact balance necessarily when like guys get clean hits, but like
when people do not get a perfect hit on him, he makes them pay.
And I mean, a lot of that is that like that vision.
Yes.
That elusiveness.
So he has the athletic framework and he has the mental framework to be really damn good after the catch. I do think he's a Garbo route runner overall. And again, that's not really what Houston asked him to do. And that's what, Matt Golden was more so designed to do. And so I didn't really see intricacy with his footwork in terms of route running. I think
I'm interested. Was Golden more of the deep threat there?
He was.
Okay.
He was. He was, oh man, I can't like emphasize that enough. He's phenomenal. But versus the press, I thought he struggled a little bit. Not really a great blocker, but at the same time, he was very role specific and did a phenomenal job doing so. So
sick.
Yeah, he's a monster. I'm so excited for Sam Brown to go off for Miami.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to roll out of here. I'm sorry. My wife requested me. We've been at this for over 3 hours.
No, we didn't even get to talk about Dante Thornton.
I was gonna say, let's talk about some of these guys real quick.
Oh, okay, good. All right. So Dante Thornton, he's my 27th best receiver. He's the guy who got 24 miles per hour. 6'5", 214.
Where's he at?
Tennessee. 6'5", 214. Said he runs 24. So unbelievable frame. And it pops up on tape. This dude is a burner on speed on tape. He really can burn. Has no release package whatsoever. Has, I think, a 14% drop rate, 13%, somewhere in that range. And he's a pretty crisp route runner overall. Don't see any deficiencies there. He actually can make a guy miss here and there after the catch as well. So he's really nimble for that size. And because of that size, route running, and speed combination, he's pretty much opened the majority of the plays. And the big issue is that he just has awful contested catch. I think it's like in the 20s, which is weird. But he's also a really powerful blocker. I saw him like pretty much bench press guys. So big fan of the upside. Just doesn't get enough reps.
Golly gee willikers. I'm right now going to. Oh, okay. I was like, I couldn't find him because I was looking at like DA, like for Dante. It's
the
other way around. Okay, okay. Dude, he was initially at Oregon. That's fun.
Yeah.
So awesome. I was gonna say Nick Anderson out of Oklahoma has the makings of being someone potentially that could be a big riser because he's really explosive and fast at 6'4", 219. It's just right now his route running is cheeks. The way he attacks the football is cheeks.
Yeah.
And if those things get significantly, like for his size, his run blocking is cheeks. If those things get significantly better, he's probably going to be in like a top 50 guy.
I like this run blocking. I like this run blocking. He's powerful, man.
I thought like for as like big and strong as he was, like
I thought he was good. I don't know.
Where was it?
That's me. That's me. I mean, maybe TBD. We'll see this season. Obviously, they have a really good receiving core there.
Yeah, like I put here like signs of like a great player. Are there?
That was Dane Key for me because similar build. I think he's like 6'3", 215. Dane Key was fun.
The dude's big, like Anderson's big and explosive.
What's up with me thinking like all these 195 dudes are 215? My last line of Dane Key was I said I could see him in a starting rotation if he gets more consistent.
Who is he? Where's he from?
He's from Kentucky.
Okay.
He's the Barry and Brown teammate. He's fun, dude. Fun. I know you're not a fan of CJ Daniels. He was my.
I want to be. I really like him. I want to be. It's just I don't think he's got the athleticism or the.
He didn't
separation ability.
He takes a long time to build up some. His separation grade was pretty damn low for me.
Yeah, but if he can be as dominant as because the dude's hands were great. Yeah. If he could be as dominant at the contested catch as he was at LSU as he was at Liberty, then he's going to go up significantly.
Right.
Because I mean, if you're not going to separate, you better be good at that.
Right. I know you have this guy as a UDFA, but Andrell Anthony, it's just because he had a season-ending leg injury. I think this guy's an all-star.
I think he is so raw.
He is. He pops off, dude.
He does. I don't disagree. It's just like, dude is so raw. And I was well, at the very least, he probably has like return capabilities, but like just never has been used that way.
Dude, you know someone who I love who got tragically injured this past year and just never got a really chance to show it? I think his name's Jaden Hale, Alabama receiver. He broke his leg.
That sucks.
Oh, dude. But like he's the guy who kept popping off. I was watching. So one of my lowest graded wide receivers was Kobe Prentice, and I was like, dude, the guy who's getting limited reps who's popping off is this Hale kid. And then I ended up posting. I'm like, dude, I really like this Hale guy. And then it's like everyone's like, oh, dude, his season ended too soon. Ended up doing a little research. I'm like, oh, poor guy. So that's just what sucks. But
I think there's like only two other guys I want to bring up.
Yeah.
Josh Kelly, now at Texas Tech, formerly of Washington State.
Yeah.
Like he was a late breakout guy, a guy that was a fifth year last season.
Yeah,
for Washington State. He did pop off a bit at Fresno State, but injuries kind of like derailed the end of his career there at Fresno State, and he picked it right back up at Washington State. He's now at Texas Tech. Like he's one of those he's a good, not great player. He's like a good, not great athlete. He looks a little thin, but golly, great route runner and just someone that's really good at catching the football.
He has really good hands. I did not see really any of that with him, but I am happy to be proven wrong.
Like I said, I think he's a good, not great player. Like
he was my 56 out of 57th.
Okay.
But I wanted to love him more because I love Wazoo players. You know, I'm impartial to Wazoo.
Did he not like your tweet?
He did not. No, but I like Washington State players.
Okay.
And I was really hoping that I'd like him more. It it hurt me on that one. That was just someone who I really wanted to be happy about. Same thing with Theo Weiss, like not happy about that either.
Yeah, Theo Weiss was like, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah. Let's see. Anybody else of note that I didn't mention?
I was gonna say Restrepo.
Xavier's fun. He's really solid route runner, but he's not a great athlete in my opinion.
Oh no, by no means. I think he's a good all around athlete, but no launch speed. He's strictly slot only.
Yeah.
And I put here like run blocker. He's scrappy, but not much else.
Yeah.
Like I saw some people like go nuts over him, and I was like, he's fine.
Yeah, no, I really, he produces. That's why he has the big plays. Kyron Lacey, LSU. Him and CJ Daniels are going to be a really interesting duo.
I didn't get to him, man. Like
I
had him down here because he popped off last year at some points.
Yeah. He's explosive, but not fast. He's top speed limited. But somebody who will get open, solid enough hands, but a really refined release package. But two dudes who I don't know if you've heard of these two guys. Antonio Williams from Clemson.
Nope.
So he was kind of their slot hybrid guy. That dude's a freaking baller. But Will Pauling, Wisconsin. You heard of that guy?
Nah.
Yeah. That dude, like, surprised the living hell out of me. He was my wide receiver 19. Like,
okay.
I thought he was awesome. There's a rep I put up on my Twitter for you to basically just see his highest end rep. Like, just super smooth overall as an athlete. Nothing, like, we're not talking about jaw-dropping athlete here at all. Like, he's smooth. That's it. He doesn't have a top speed. He's not super bursty, but, really refined with his feet. And, like, when it comes to getting micro separation, I think he can do a really damn good job. So I think that actually mentions everybody except for Noah Thomas in my top 20.
Hey.
There you go.
It's not bad. I know Thomas. I have him listed, not evaluated yet.
He's very interesting. He's slow, but explosive.
I mean, at 6'6", 200, I'm not shocked.
I know. Good route runner, solid hands, but cannot play against the press. I don't know. What's up with these big dudes who can't play against the press?
If they don't get low, then, I mean, not that they have to get low.
Leverage. I mean, like, you can still dip your shoulder in and still be able to make cuts and stuff.
I mean, like, you got to get low to dip your shoulder.
I guess so. But you got long arms, man. Like, just use them. Like Jaden Higgins. I love Jaden Higgins.
Higgins is nice. His teammate, Jalen Noel. Golly. Talk about, like, this man was throwing every screen under the sun. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, I didn't have much, like, to say about him.
Right.
Like, but I was like, golly, this looks like a UDFA if I ever saw one, man.
Damn, y'all still alive? I'm like, absolutely, right? Brother.
Just barely. Tree just missed my house.
Absolutely. What
Which
the hell?
I probably should go check that out.
Wait, what was this status thing that just popped up? Like the x.com. Oh, is that the tweet?
Did you? Yeah. I put that up in there for.
Okay, I was like,
because they were asking for a link. So.
Okay. Yeah, guys, if you guys are still watching, 114 of you are. Make sure to go and follow all of our pages. For me, the easiest is through the link tree, but most of you guys are going to be on Twitter anyways. So
I appreciate you sending that up for me. I'm going to get someone to actually make it look pretty. What? No, I mean, you said it was bare bones. I haven't looked at it myself. Yeah. But I was like, I'm going to get someone to, like, because my wife has a friend that's really good at that stuff. So
there you go. I was like, damn, but I forgot about the fact that I pretty much just kind of set up the video.
I mean, those were your words. It was like, hey, I just
it was bare bones. I forgot about that. It's been so long. So
douchebag.
But yeah, just for me, like, follow us over at YouTube as well. This is where we're primarily at. So also it's where you get to see a lot more content. For me, I tweet all the time, so check it out. I post all 22 when I'm bored, which is all the time.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. I'm going to go survey the damage and tend to my wife's needs. Y'all have a good one.
All right. We love y'all. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.
Later.